Welcome to yet another wonderful week of Dungeons and Dungeons. Last session, we open the volume mixer and turn this down. There we go. There we go. Defeated Escott Grandier.
Woo!
The group came in a long siege of Tendorf, getting swamped by a orc alliance, using the friend they made and released, Clockwork, to use its phoenix form to penetrate the walls of Tendorf. You entered into the streets, aided by the Lin Ryu, and found your way killing the captain that struck down Nyx in the streets before finally getting into a lair where you guys fought against the Altar of Shadows. Pushing past the Altar of Shadows, you dove deep into the Wolf's Den, defeated Escott, who then accepted his fate as the Raven Queen's Valkyrie took him to the afterlife. Ralia, noticing a mechanism, teleported the group out toward the encampments of Tendorf, where you've seen the city drop elevation. And right now you can hear the cries and the yelling of all the combatants and civilians of the city as your group looks from outside the tent, and as you see the city falling, the shoreline appears. I mean, Tendorf isn't on the coast. It's near the coast, but you actually see much of the land to the east just falling and submerging underwater as the coastline comes closer and closer to Tendorf, up until the very edge of the castle before it stops, as it would appear the continent or the land itself has been submerged into water.
Whoa. Reed, before you get any further, your microphone is popping a lot.
Oh, it's still, started having it again.
Mm-hmm. It's like you gotta...
I thought it was just us.
Nah, I think it's his microphone. Ryan knows in agreement.
What do you think about me grabbing the fan?
Hello, hello? How's that sound now? Is it still crackling? And everyone's frozen on my computer, and that's probably mine. Anytime now. Did Discord die? I'm gonna restart Discord. Screensaver.
Hear it.
Fantastic. That's the best.
Ha.
Ha! Nice.
Is it any better?
Yes.
It does sound better. We're streaming, boys. Wow, that's a nice library. It'd be a shame if somebody put our faces there. So that beautiful library.
Oh, I dragged you guys the wrong way.
If it's bad, the dog cooked it.
Okay. We don't have a dog.
That's what you think.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. There we
Not
go.
bad. That was good.
And my audio's there, that audio's there.
I'm a little concerned some of the carrots might not be cooked all the way, but that's my main concern.
So as you see the castle of Tendorf sinking into this apparent shoreline as waves come up closer to the land of Freya, a horse approaches your group, and you can see a rider on top of the horse as many of the forces are retreating now away from the sinking castle. Salem approaches your group, and he looks to all of you and in wide eyes, and he goes, "You're all right. You're back at the camps. What happened?"
Fight is done.
The fight is... He's dead.
we defeated him, and the Valkyrie got her vengeance. He is gone for good.
A smile begins to go onto Salem's face, but then back to his seriousness, he looks and goes, "You know, you think he could have gone out in a less dramatic fashion than this chaos that he's now brewing." Okay then. Well, and he goes to his side and he shoots up a blue flare into the sky, and with that you start seeing blue flares all throughout the distance, going up through these all around, and this is an indication that the Cobalt Wolves' Escott Grandier has been defeated. And you can see, following the blue shot, a green shot comes after it, signifying that the forces have indeed taken Tendorf. And you can see those from the far side of the sunken-in area. With that, though, there's a bunch of yellow panic flares going off in the city asking for aid. It seems like there are a bunch of people now trapped inside the sinking city that need some way to get out. As Salem looks to you guys, that'd be a twist.
He turns and Escott appears.
Oh boy!
I thought we were done with this. You see Salem go, if any of you would, if you need your rest, take your rest as you need it, but I'm going to go back and try and help as many people. We're going to rally as many of the forces and try and get civilian soldiers alike out of whatever trap Escott Grandier has sprung onto the city as his goodbye and his parting card.
I can help you a little bit. I've got some. Let's see. I'm not very strong, but I can help.
We'll do what we can.
All right. So, over the next 2 days, you guys can be helping with the effort to save any civilian soldiers that have been... What has happened as you guys get to Tendorf, the entire city has been submerged and sunk below ground, and some of the towers are high above, but there's these large mixings of certain areas where there's just mud all bubbling to the surface, and there's chaos and destruction all around, but also other areas the water's clear and there's actually fish swimming above houses, and all sorts of buoyant items are lifting to the air, foods and fruits, people's belongings. The entire city is a complete natural disaster at this point, and it has now turned from a siege into a disaster recovery effort by the Linryu, the Waterdeep forces, and the Northern forces. The group is waiting for Haru, Blackstaff, and Brian's forces to return at Tendorf to you guys to discuss further what's going on. If there's anything you guys want to do in the next 2 days while you're helping the soldiers and helping the civilians, you're free to let me know at this point.
I can control water, so I imagine that would be particularly helpful in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, it is an ocean, so there's limitations, but you
Right.
can go very far. Go ahead and roll just a standard wisdom skill check for me to demonstrate what you're doing with the water to help in saving.
30, 20.
Substantial lives are being saved because of your mastery of controlling water. You can hear a plentiful amount of people talking about all of you in high regard, as the Chosen not only came and took Tendorf, but now they're aiding the civilians. Now they're saving people. This is a positive, and they're capable as well, capable enough to kill Escott Grandier. There's shock and whispers and plenty of soldiers that are still unrelenting, many that have to be taken prisoner, but still loyal to the Cobalt Banner. But for the most part, the city is very much in acceptance of freedom and just trying to escape with their lives. Clearly, the situation they were in was not a good one, and then who was providing over them clearly cared little for them as he plunged and threw away all their lives for whatever purpose he saw fit.
I was going to be helping out, just trying. I'm not very strong, but I'd be able to help out, listen with my high perception, try to be able to scout out if anybody is like trapped under rubble.
Oh,
but one of my side missions is definitely going to be trying to track down that final wolf pack to see if he was dealt with.
Oh, you're right. Important. No rats get away.
Give me a. You're gonna have 2 checks. So the first one is another skill check, aiding with individuals of Tendorf. That was a perception check.
Yep. That is a good old natural 20 for a 31.
Woo!
The legend of the shadow spreads throughout Tendorf as you are able to uncover and hear the cries of drowning individuals and even people locked inside their houses where they have brief moments of like an airlock basically inside there, a little air bubble that's running out, and there's only days at a time, maybe 2 days, 3 days of air. If some of these people that were so unfortunate to get trapped underneath the city, you were able to find with a natural 20 almost every one of these people that you could with the forces. The Lin Ryu doing their best with their monk abilities to move water and shape water with Ulazal. The Shadow led so many of these excavations to save people that will not be forgotten by Tendorf and its people. And go ahead and roll a survival check to try and track any information or the whereabouts of the Wolfpack member.
I'm using my Timora's Blessing because I rolled real low initially, and it'll be an 18.
An 18. What information you could have tried to track down was most certainly lost in the sinking of the city. It is near impossible to figure out where the hell that guy ended up, if he's not buried beneath 100 feet of rubble and ocean, or if he is out and about.
Yeah, he's probably dead.
As it was all puts his hand on Aries' shoulder.
I'll trust it when I have proof. Do I know this person's name, by the way?
This Wolfpack member, I do not believe so.
Okay. Then that will be one of my tasks, is tracking down information, and then tracking down the Valkyrie.
Oh boy. Why are you trying? Which Valkyrie? The
Valkyrie of the Raven.
Raven Queen. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Luke, you were saying something.
Yeah, so any children or like injured people who need immediate medical attention, I will teleport groups of them out of the city.
Sure. Give me a wisdom check for Ralia for that.
And after that, after she's exhausted of spells for, teleport, she'll use teleportation circle to move any like large groups, because any amount of people can go through teleportation circle as long as they get through it. So anything that's like a large condensed group of people.
Certainly, there's plenty of people stranded on top of their houses.
14 plus what's my wisdom? 17. Oh, you can roll just normal. That's so cool.
17.
Yep.
Or is it 14 plus 17? Because that would be ludicrous.
No, 14 plus 3.
Okay.
17.
Okay. With relative success, occasionally the exhaustion of pushing so many people, you're not able to get everybody out, and sometimes you can see the panicked folks, and as disasters go, still resentful. Some of them see it as like, this is potentially your fault. You guys invaded. Everything was fine. We didn't have to have our entire, city sunk, but the majority are vastly grateful. It's mainly the ones that like your teleport circles fails, and then there's like 2 people left, and they're just like, that would be my luck. That would be my that type of individual. You run into a few of those, but by and large, the Black Death saving lives turns a lot of faces in the prisoners for the Cobalt Wolves to see what they were fighting against, and to see this individual saving life is very strange from what a lot of the understanding was in Tendorf.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lift a bunch of heady shit that people might be stuck under.
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
I'm gonna rage too.
Okay.
I'm gonna rage lift shit.
Mosnell, oh, I'm saving people! As he's running around, wading through the water, taking off all of his heavy pelts on him.
22.
Oh my god, yeah. With the help of the Lin Ryu, you're going through and they're like clearing out little bits of water that they can push back for just a moment, and you're lifting up, clearing pathways to allow people out, buildings that have people trapped. The feats of strength you display are legendary to the town. I mean, this is crazy that an individual, like, you were just bulging muscles with a 22. That's not normal strength. That is not what normal people, and many of the Cobalt soldiers are taken back. They're like, glad I didn't fight that. Like, I don't know what we were doing, but if they got soldiers like that in their army, I think we were sipping the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he's just a normal guy. There's nothing special about him.
You're lucky the Northern Army wasn't here. They're filled of people like me.
You could just, as like, there's like food lines and civilians, and you're aiding with that. You're like telling stories as you're ladling out food to individuals. Almost hours before the Northern Army does show up, you can see it on the horizon. Just all sorts of animals leading first, and then you can hear the marching of the army. Many of the druids flying above in their druid-shaped forms to indicate that the Northern Army has arrived, and the King of the North is in tandem with the Lin Ryu and Haru as they start entering to the camps and take in everything that's been going on, seeing the multitude of tents that have been set up far outside the city. It looks like complete refugee camps at this point, and they get briefed on the situation of what happened, as you guys have relayed as much as you can to Salem. Do you guys want to start the meeting with everybody, or is there anything else you'd like to do?
I mean, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Might as well.
All right.
I'm gonna grab a chicken leg or something from somewhere. I don't care where.
Would we have had the opportunity to rest by now?
It's been 2 days, so yeah.
Oh, so okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, like, what food is around, and I'll pick something.
I'd say fruits right now. A lot of the recovery effort
Fruits?
has been getting the fruits that, I mean, it's only water and flooding, so some of that stuff, it can be saved. Just wash it off, and they're trying to make sure it doesn't all go rotten. So that's why it's being consumed a lot. A lot of pooping, though. Fruit makes you poop.
Don't want this to go bad. I'll take like an apple or something.
Sure.
It's like that
At least
scene
no
in
one-
Lord of the Rings where
Exactly.
Merry and Pippin
Yes.
are finding food.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Bosnell's like, oh, a full turkey.
He's moving massive beams that have fallen down, and then, like, at the top of the attic, for some reason, a perfectly, like, hot cove of food. Oh!
There's just like there's a smoker in there that's currently smoking chips and brisket.
Just like, oh, I knew someone would find us, and you're like, out of my way, as you go and take the brisket.
Good.
I'm a humble cook, and this was how I thought to signal. And Mosnell just like, oh, you're smart. You're smart to do that.
Smart man.
Are you going to help us? Behind you as the Lin Ryu are like helping the children out. All right. So you enter into one of the private tents, and it is just Salem, Blackstaff, King Brine, and Haru inside here. As you can see, some of them they seem some fresh scarring on them, some fresh cuts, but for the most part, all of them fine. No worse for hair, no missing limbs. Excitement in their voices, smiles across Brian's face, Lynn very neutral as possible, and Blackstaff as very serious as she always is. Inside here, Salem is with you guys as the meeting begins, and you can see Salem does say, "Well, this is it then. This is what we've been striving for years and years. We owe almost everything to your aid, the chosen who have decided to show up in our time of need, and you guys have made the world of difference." And Brian looks and goes, "Indeed they have, but that's not to say our people haven't suffered and paid the greatest prices. Without our armies, without our unity, our forces, there is no victory. There is no freedom from the Cobalt Wolves." Horror looks, "Indeed, that is the case. But now we have to forge our path forward. We need to figure out where we stand and how we begin this period of reconstruction. It is obvious that it will not be an easy transition." Blackstaff looks to all of you. "It will not be an easy transition whatsoever. But the good news is you have the aid of the great efforts of these chosen. We have the princess to the efforts of our people in Waterdeep. The Princess of Tendorf and the Prince of Lianzhou will help aid in these transitionary periods." They all nod in agreement, and there's a table. Everyone finally starts to take their seats as a little bit of small talk ends. The three of them are curious, and they inquire to you, what was your experience with the invasion of Tendorf? What happened?
Well, it was a difficult time. They had some allies we weren't expecting. This orc army, it appeared to be the initial assault went pretty awry. They had this magic device shot from catapults. It exploded in a rain of blue shards, but it also seemed to, from discussing with my team, it sounds like it dampened magic for a short time, and it made us forgetful for a moment. It kind of threw off everyone.
You see Vera look over to Salem, and Salem nods a bit, and you see Salem stand up, and he leans forward a bit more on the table, and he goes, "I can shed some light on that for our intel. What we've been tracking for quite a while is the contributions of the Ivory Tusks. It seems that they've been unearthing this rare mineral inside Minna that's able to suppress magical powers. We were worried they were weaponizing such things, and this must have been one of their last-minute trump cards to try and save Tendorf, but they didn't count on a phoenix blowing half the castle to high hell, which is good. The orc army is something we've done research on more and more. Even the past 2 days, they've sent more word, and this is something we had to keep an eye on. And you see Brian peek up too. The orc armies are something that I have seen for a while when it comes to rumors and causing trouble throughout the land. We've even seen them inside the hills outside Fandlin, outside Fandlin, terrorizing the locals inside the rolling hills. But this is something we had to put on the back burner. As they migrated further south in the northern reaches, it was no longer our responsibilities to deal with them. They were gathering orc tribes and banding together. Salem cuts back in. Yeah, and they came closer and closer to our territory as he looks towards Blackstaff. And this has been quite a while. These orc armies have been dealing with this, but they were causing trouble inside Whitland, but they were so far from the capital, it was really tough to track them down. The only rumors we had about them was the fact that the core of this organization seemed to come from an orcish tribe that exterminated one of the lost dwarven cities in recent time. It was a fair amount of years ago. We used to have this stronghold of allies with the dwarves. They're very secretive about where their city was located, but we did free trade with them near the northern parts of Whitland. With that, we lost contact with them. Only a few survivors took hold inside Waterdeep, and we have since lost a lot of contact with them. I'm sure I could do some digging to try and find them, but the messages they had for us was that all was lost. Of their homeland, they would not reveal where the orcs were. They seemed awfully disheartened from the reports I read, and I never actually got to meet one of them, so I can look into that when we start getting back to normalcy. And you see Blackstaff go, I'd like that very much. Very much. Blackstaff looks back to you, Ari. You may continue.
We had to fight our way through the streets. There were quite a few stragglers in between, although it seemed like a lot of them were focused more on the assault at hand. People I thought were good before that turned out to be not so good, that I recognized from my years prior. But we made our way to the castle, and we were able to track down where this wolf den thing was that Escott utilized as a stronghold. It was a secret chamber deep below the castle, and he was just waiting for us, as if all the damage that we had done to him had taken such a toll that he was accepting of his fate.
Interesting. And you were able to defeat him.
We were. It was a very quick but brutal battle. Mm-hmm. Many of the team we were beaten pretty badly. He was even despite our efforts, he was still incredibly strong. But we were able to slay him, and then the Valkyrie showed up and returned him to the Raven Queen finally.
Brian looks over to Blackstaff and goes, I think that settles it then. It is truly over for Escott. I do not think we have to worry about it anymore.
I think that is the last we will ever hear of him. Shortly after that, we looked around the room to try and get an idea of what else there may be, and discovered there was some sort of fail-safe device that had been activated. And shortly after, we realized that my friend Ralia here expeditiously removed us from the room, and within moments, just kind of gesturing towards the city, that occurred.
Haru gives a nod of approval toward Ralia. Very clever.
Well, they were running the other direction, and I could have left by myself. They were all going to die. Of course, I wouldn't do that to them, but just a thing in thought. Could have happened.
Brian laughs. black staff is still like her black staff. She in the way she's leaning on her chair, the staff is right here, the neck pointing, like leaning on her cheek, almost as she's just listening and trying to take in everything. Well, Brian looks up. Well, we have similar good news. As the armies were able to meet up, we were able to defeat the reinforcements as best we could, take as many prisoners of war, and Nature's Hold has been retaken, if you had not heard. We are now establishing as best we can throughout the lands a new order of understanding in this rebuilding period. It seems like we are going to have a free and independent world again.
Oh, one additional thing that you just reminded me of. We did actually know about Nature's Hold. During the traveling towards Teindorf, we made a very brief detour. We took a short trip back to the frozen fortress.
That was me again. Just
Yes, thank you,
I see
Ralia.
Haru. You seem to be the most capable here.
He's good.
clearly a Mazdal.
We're all capable. Let's be honest.
Eric, come on.
It's a little squirmy.
Regardless, I digress. I guess I wasn't completely aware of the entire circumstances, but the lizard folk, Druid Eve, that had been so graciously helpful to us in the past, we were able to restore her, wake her.
Brian's eyes light up. She goes, "That is terrific news."
So we were able to find a little bit more information, not really very much at all, but a little bit more understanding about this madness, and she is one of the creators of the elixir alongside our old friend Redolf that helps stabilize those afflicted.
You see Vera really interested in this as she stands up. She goes, "That is terrific news. I will have to talk to this lizard folk able to craft this." Salem looks up and he goes, we did send Calgary to take as many notes as possible, and I believe he was, from the report he gave me, things look excellent. Blackstaff will be able to share.
he should have a pretty accurate account of what we attempted that seemed to be successful in breaking the madness.
to give you a brief synopsis, I was able to invade her mind, and we all grouped together and in her sleep.
I think you were. Yeah, you had mentioned we were entering in the dreams, correct?
Right. Yes. She was, I believe, asleep. I mean, in some kind of unconscious state, and we all entered. Well, barring me initially, and there was some kind of demon or such. Perhaps Muznal or Eri can give a better description of it. I was only in there for but a second.
Well, we attempted this initially on a captive madness afflicted in Lancaster. That's where the idea initially came from. And it was similar to my initial experience in that they are mad because their mind is trapped in an endless cycle of dying against some sort of beast. The beast in Eve's mind was different from that I had confronted, and that was in the mind of the man in Lancaster. But there is some sort of beast in some form that they are just endlessly fighting. And that is why their mind is so locked away, is they are in an endless struggle, and if they die, it restarts, and they have to fight again until they die, and continuously.
All three of them take that in, the information, a big tone of seriousness about that, and Blackstaff goes, "This is extremely helpful for trying to figure out a solution for this, because it does seem to be quite a problem. Have Calgary come here as soon as possible, Salem." And you see Salem Well, I guess now would be as time as ever to bring it up. We can't find Calgary. He is either was in the city when it went down, or when we got swamped. We have no idea where Calgary is at this
I
time.
would like to pull out my crystal ball and scry on,
Yeah.
on Calgary.
Okay, go ahead and try.
My guy, no.
I don't know if I have to roll or anything. Oh yeah, he has to roll a saving
A
throw
save.
or something if he doesn't. Want
Wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you go to cast the scrying enchantment on Calgary, you can feel something preventing you from doing it.
Oh,
It is quite peculiar. Blackstaff. It appears that he is being protected from scrying. Does he wear some kind of magical device for that, or is that an outside source?
You see Blackstaff. Typically he does wear something to prevent scrying, so he could be unconscious with that item on him. Or, she looks over to Salem nods and goes, potentially he could be taken captive and they could be trying to hide him from our eyes.
Right.
How many people are missing, Salem? You see sound like thousands, Blackstaff. I want you to bring me those lists and see how many, and see if there's any patterns with some of the people that are missing on there.
Just to make you aware, I've been searching for 2 days and I have been unable to track down the final wolf pack.
You see,
We don't know. Nobody. They have not been found, and it was never reported any conflict with him. And so, just knowing them and Escott's entourage, I will not be satisfied until I see a body.
You see, Brian, he always has a plan. Always. This is why we had to move so quickly. I am worried with you, Eri, that this could be a problem. We will definitely be putting out as many searches as possible to locate this Wolfpack member. We will see what we can turn up as best we can. We will aid you in whatever you need as well, Eri, to track down this Wolfpack member. Maybe he has your Calgary. And Blackstaff looks and like, that would be most unfortunate for him.
The one, if anybody has any experience with this final member, I was not privy to all of them. If we have a name or a general description.
As Salem recounts the Wolfpack, they realize this is the most private of all the Wolfpack members. This one was one of the Masters of Whispers is all they have for his name, and he was a caster. So they don't know much more than that.
Because my thought was initially both Ralia and the Valkyrie have a connection to the Raven Queen, so they may be able to commune in some sort, and if we have a name, we can confirm whether or not at least they're dead. And if they're not dead, then we assume that they are alive. Well, we know that they're alive. We assume that they are up to something.
Agreed. You see, then this sounds like a good plan. If we can figure this out and maybe summon your Valkyrie friend, this could be a good next step to tracking down and the seriousness of the situation.
Probably, do you have the ability to commune?
I have not tried this before. Not of my knowledge. I will say, not to go against this council's will, but I don't believe talking to the Valkyrie of the Raven Queen is specifically necessary unless undeath is being made. It is no small favor.
They all look around again, acknowledging one another. If that is... Haru comments, well, if it is out of your abilities, we would not ask of it of you. We do not want to cause grave favors to the gods. That is troublesome territory for all of us.
I can certainly ask. I can try, but I will not delve deep. I will not push any further than be necessary.
It is
I
appreciated.
mean, all we ask at the moment is a yes or no. Are they dead?
Right.
You see Brian. All right. Now here comes some of the bigger stuff, the heavier stuff. We've all been discussing this for a time, even prior, during our meetings, of what happens after the war. This is something that I will have to probably fight hard with my kingdom, because they enjoy being independent and on their own and ungoverned. But it is clear that Escott Grandia had shown us our vulnerabilities. I do not think a monarchy, even if tradition has it, is the way to continue the North forward. I will continue my title, but there will be a king in the North on a new Northern Alliance, and this will be on a council. I would be interested to see if your group would like to be represented in some of the decision making in the new council that will take place inside Jinzhou. I will be on it along with 6 other delegates, and if you choose to join, your group would represent the 7th.
I would be honored to be a part of this council, as being born and raised in the North myself.
I was really hoping you'd say that, Masnell, as Brian smiles towards you.
I mean, we're just as helpful as we have been in this war. We are just kind of a group of misfits. Do we really warrant essentially the same level of decision making as an entire government?
You do now, because you are granted a parcel of land and a stronghold and people inside the North.
You're rich.
This is not completely free of strings, but as we begin our recovery effort, there are plenty of Cobalt's holdouts that are in control of certain areas. Towards the northeast, there is a place called Jingzhou. If you can persuade them to throw down their arms or fight them, the castle is yours, and the city will be yours, and the titles are yours. Speaking of titles, we ask that all of you kneel before us. Gesturing to the whole group to take a moment to kneel before the big 3.
Sure.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
What was the city called?
Jingzhou. Gingzhou. It's a northern one. Jing.
It's kind of an intermediate between Yin Yang and Pimin.
Yep. And also the thumbnail of today's episode is the thumbnail of that place. As you guys line up in front of Brian, Blackstaff, and Haru, Salem hands Blackstaff, or hands Haru a sword. Blackstaff has her staff, and Brian has her mythical sword. And Haru starts putting the sword against one shoulder, crossing over to the other shoulder, across each and every one of you, and he talks as he goes down the line here. For your protection of the innocents and your selflessness toward others. And then Blackstaff follows behind him with her staff. For your accomplishments of new legend and your strength that you have shown. And then Brian finishes for coming in our time of need and giving hope to the world. The three of them, one after the other, we grant you all the title of Protector of the Realm. It is the highest non-military or acting government rank inside our new fellowship. There is a new government being formed between all three of us. We are calling it the Atulian Fellowship. We seek to have a unified Atulian continent. You see, Blackstaff, the difficult part will be getting Minna and Skoberheim on board. More Skoberheim. It would seem Minna is in disarray from what I've been hearing right now. It's difficult to get information out of there. But
Worst.
Well, I'm sure they'd love for us to come get involved in that.
well, that leads us to our next point of order. Waterdeep is getting involved in that, as our armies are marching to secure the border, as we are hearing rumors right now that Skoberheim is planning to invade Minna. There is quite a civil unrest going on that could potentially be caused by friends of ours. When we know more information, we will let you know. As Brian looks to you guys, what I suggest right now is you find your new home inside Jingzhou and free those people. They are a young town looking for any leadership at this point. It was a stepping stone to try and take some of the other fortresses, including Pinman. Even though Pinman was to the south, this was a perfect way to dock above and then encircle Pinman. The remnants of what's left in Jingzhou is nothing you can't handle. There are two people in there that, if they are still alive, would most likely love to help you. The first is a witch named Pinna. She is local. And then there is basically the town leader of sorts named Dillian Knott. Those two would be the individuals you'd want to try and seek out as soon as possible to understand more about Jingzhou and the situation that they're in. I'm certain it's the Chosen will be able to handle it. I've also received multiple inquiries from people that have fought alongside you, and they have an interest of joining you on this quest to Jingzhou. If you will permit it, you will have 5 companions to join you from the war effort to try and help you retake Jingzhou.
Who are they?
From what I know, 3 of them are from our northern army. One is from the Lin Ryu and one is from Waterdeep. That is as far as the information that has been brought to me at this time. I'm certain you can go meet them.
Yeah, would love to.
Once you take Jingzhou back, we will have more of our thank you sent to your new lordships and hopefully your new stronghold. I hope you can make a very happy home inside the north as we look to rebuild. We have much to do to rebuild. We need to bury our dead, honor our dead. But there are so many people now that have hope because of all of you. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Before we go, you spoke about these orcs earlier. Do you know if they're centered around any specific area? Is it something we should be concerned about, especially now that we are governing our own land?
You see, Salem, right now we're trying to push their lines back as far as possible. Many of them scattered when we shattered their morale with the Phoenix. At this point, we're going to look into it in the Grey Hand to try and figure out where their center point is, and that'll be one of our investigations, as Blackstaff has indicated, to try and find their stronghold so it doesn't become a problem. We'll probably be dealing with raids throughout Freya and Whitland for a little bit the next couple weeks, as they are now scattered and orcs can be brutal. So our forces will be distributed throughout the area to try and control and mitigate as much of that as possible.
You said it was a band of orcs that was bringing tribes together.
Yes.
Is there any way to indicate, some kind of symbol or something that we can tell if we run across a band of these orcs?
I'll look into that. I don't have any symbols right now, and even the ones we were fighting were divided. I wouldn't know which one would be the leader at this point, but give me some time and I'll figure it out for you, Ralia.
Very well. I appreciate that.
You got it. Salem writes another note in his little black book he carries around with him.
Raleigh's just gonna look to everybody else in the group and be like, I suppose none of you have any experience in ruling a city or even a small section of a city.
I actually start laughing.
You see Brian laughing as well. It is a wonderful learning experience, let me tell you. But you will have help. If the people are there, they will help. Trust me. The Northerners, they keep to themselves. They're able to operate on their own accord. They just need a little direction.
Very well.
And we also...
it is a coastal city, so will be a decent amount for trade if we can get things put back together.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to offer Sari Clovis home, if she might.
So you see Haru, he goes, I'll happily tell the princess about this. She has open invitations to any of the other kingdoms to help rule, but we'll let her make that decision. As it breaks down, you guys get the general idea. So Brian has her own council now, made up of 7 members of the North. That makes its own decisions with its territory. They all operate sort of like a confederacy, but more like the United States, where each state has its own state laws, but they're all united together under the Aetulian Fellowship. Whitland, Freya, and Jinzhou is all united now on those 3 fronts, covering 3/5 of the continent now, are all united. Freya is governed by the 3 cities still, now 2 cities. But with Lianzhou, also Nut House, 1 city. They're looking for the next capital city in Freya, so that will end up being a point of discussion. Potentially Fanlin is going to be the next capital city, and they're going to look for a balance of power for a 3rd capital city somewhere inside Freya. But Neverwinter will be restored. The nobles that you saved will work in tandem with the locals of Freya and the Lin Ryu to stabilize Freya and establish the new lands. The talk of a new trading route is also being made throughout the 3 kingdoms. That was one of the big specialties of the Lin Ryu from Jalasia. They had one of these Silk Road type of trading routes, and that is what a lot of their efforts will be put in towards as well, in unifying the Aetulian Fellowship. Waterdeep is continuing with how they govern from a single capital, but by the lords of Waterdeep and all these the faceless lords and the one unmasked lord that is
Lariel. Silverhand.
I was gonna keep saying Liliana, which is the one in Fandlin. So that is the general gist of the current governmental structure after the change of what has occurred right now. And independent is still Skolberheim, and independent is still Minna. Minna is technically still part of the Kobold Alliance and the last remaining members. Skolberheim is part of the Go Fuck Yourself Alliance, still telling everybody to go fuck yourself.
They're doing their own thing.
Oh boy, they're a problem. They're a very powerful problem.
Yes, they are. You also, during the conversations, none of them have any interest in trying to invade or strong arm Skolberheim into the alliance. That is something that can be done politically. It seems like their only intention is to try and eventually wear them down politically to join. It is not a good idea from what you guys can gather, to try and fight and force that place.
Yeah, the place is crawling with Valkyries.
That's just, the surface level. What else they have going on there, who knows?
They're crazy.
It's true. Zealots are dangerous.
And self-righteous, so they'll fight to the last man.
Mr. Oh, my God's the only God.
They certainly
gonna
believe
die.
that.
Oof.
All right.
So, Minna is being the last holdout of the Cobalt Wolves. Do we deem that an imminent threat?
Not as much. It is a threat. It is the most imminent threat. But we have reports of, like we said, Skolberheim getting involved because they are worried about us trying to take Minna into this new formed alliance. So there's almost a divide being created. And Minna was already dealing with so much of their own problems on top of the civil unrest that's happening right now. It's bound to collapse. And we're hoping to try and mitigate as much of that collapse as possible into a peaceful transition into the Fellowship. This is Waterdeep's responsibility in the Fellowship right now, as our forces are not only dying to go home after fighting for so long, but also willing to take down the slavers that have plagued our world for so long. So many of us have tolerated something that is utterly intolerable. So we will be aiding in Minna's fall, but it's almost unraveling on its own.
Okay.
And also, we won't know anything until you guys play through it. So, that's as much as you're really gonna get without me just making shit up.
Meanwhile, at this point, with Waterdeep crew, we've already taken over all of Minna.
We have destroyed everyone
We destroyed everyone,
You
got all
will
our
have
shit.
to see.
to get our stuff back.
Yeah, give me my shit back.
That's a cute fanfiction you just wrote there.
So, Aerie has the Dark Dagger right now, right?
Yeah, he
Oh.
does. He does have 100.
Oh, I guess I do.
He does.
Okay. Just... Okay.
Do you say that out loud?
I don't think that would be something that we would discuss in the meeting. I feel like that would be something we discuss one-on-one, because Mosnall and I and you would recognize that.
Okay, so let's just talk. Any last things you want to ask Blackstaff, Haru, or Brian?
I have a very important question for Salem.
He's just chilling there.
So, you said something about a party.
You see, Salem.
I shamble over.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hell of a party. Let's settle down as much as we can. Right now, we're missing some of my other best friends in the world, and once they return and we have everything as calm as we can during this reconstruction period, we're going to have the biggest party ever for an entire episode in session.
Oh yeah, we can't party without Calgary. He has to be there.
You see, Sam, right, we also need to save Calgary. As he opens the book again, it's writes that down. Or underlines it.
I may have just missed it, but where are the Linrayu going to dwell?
Freya.
Okay.
They're taking care of Freya, as those are the holes that are promised to them from basically the Princess of Lianzhou and the Princess Sari Clovis got along during their time together, and they tried to figure out what they would do forward, and combining as much of their two lands as possible would be a good transition. combining these two nations. As I would say, you guys get the sentiment. Actually, you very much get the feeling that, as you were talking about the madness, many of the people of Jalasia are slowly becoming refugees away from the madness plaguing the continent. It is getting awfully out of hand over there.
Yeah, we kind of just like said, "Hey, screw that continent. Let's just let that pot boil for a while."
It is
We have an ocean between us.
You do.
What could possibly go wrong? Let's just hope they don't learn how to swim.
Let's not get dragged into overseas wars.
We don't want to deal with international conflicts.
You see Haru just like, and yet we're here.
Raleigh is also like, it's awkward.
No, that was a joke. That wasn't actually.
Well, but a little bit of discussion though is very much they are no longer really a Tet people, and there's definitely that feeling of, this migration of the people of a Tet are migrating to a tool to try and get to
like
better
this
lands.
This is a we can't let an entire continent just go to shreds. We can't let
Let's stabilize ourselves over here before we try to
one continent at a
address
time.
that.
I don't disagree, but this is definitely something we should not forget.
Certainly, but you see Haru, he goes, the note I would give you is, if I thought it was a fight we could win, we would still be there defending our homeland. It is... The madness is something that you clearly have found more of, but there are functioning members of the madness. Do you know anything about the People's Alliance?
Oh, we know a little about that.
Yeah.
Many of
We
their
got caught
functioning
up.
members are plagued by the madness, but they're not crazy. They hold these courts, and it is inhuman what they do to others, all by setting these new rules and this new order that they are creating over in Jalasia. It is quite bothersome and quite worrisome, so much so that our people opted not only to the defense of Seri, but half the reason we agreed to this was because it made the most sense for us as to survive, to get out of what is going on. Entire towns are cannibalizing themselves, and the People's Alliance is just you cannot reason with them.
One more evil group to deal with shouldn't be a problem.
But it's not quite like that. It's not an organization. It's like an idea. It's between all these people. This is not quite as easily... I don't observe it as easily as the Cobalt Wolves were clearly a coalition. These were people, these were soldiers, these were armies. We're talking about civilians. It is... How one of my men were executed is... You're basically surrounded inside this civilian trial by opinion. And they circle around you. There's all these makeshift stands, and everything is meant all about the people, which has such good values. It is a very rooted in no hierarchy, that anybody, even the leaders, can be called into what they call the debate. And if you're called to the debate, people are bringing up issues upon you. Disputes over land, disputes over actions, and then they will decide there, judge, jury, and executioner, surrounded by your peers. And it's almost entertainment, as it's rotating in and out of the people that make these decisions, give or take a couple of the leaders of the People's Alliance. That's why many of us call it madness and chaos, because that's what it felt like. Decisions are incoherent. There is no rhyme or reason to it. There is not a precedent to be set. It's different for the same case, nearly the same case, day after day. It's most concerning. But they are very much enamored with themselves and they only really care about their own. They don't have objects of grandeur. They're not looking to expand and take over worlds or anything like that. They're very happy cannibalizing themselves. Anything else you want to ask? The more you know. The chosen at the table just fucking repulsed. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, as we grow in power, I almost feel a responsibility to try and do something better than that.
Since obviously we have a pretty long to-do list, how do we deal with, number one, seeing over our new lands and also being on the council? Or will we be notified somehow when we're needed somewhere?
Yes. First of all, the ruling will, and all that understanding will come once you go to Jingzhou, and they will help you. From the north for the council, we will let you know when you need to be represented. We will communicate through message. Excuse me. Or we will send couriers to you to let you know.
All right. Sounds good.
We will be making decisions, but right now, before it's established, the council itself will come into place once we're back to normalcy. These are all the plans going forward. Right now, I am still king, and I will still be king to get us on the right track.
Well, wouldn't have it any other way.
Thanks, Muslim. But once we have the world aligned and we're not all spread out and spread thin and all across the far reaches, then we will register the council so we don't have to deal with this problem of you're way over, like, trying to make decisions while everybody is being called back to make maybe a one decision or two decision.
There's no, like dress code.
This is the North, guys. Now there is no dress code.
Oh, I thought so, but you know.
We don't even frown upon nudists, Maznell, but as modest as you want to be.
Seems
All
a
right.
difficult challenge.
Sounds good. I don't know. I'm new to all this council and fancy stuff, so I don't know.
It will be great. You're a perfect representative of the people, Maznell, especially being from the North. You have great input. The politics, hard cut to the politics, and all these people saying stuff, and Maznell being like,
Turn it.
so, go back to the first thing you said. And we're like, ah!
Ralia, like
3 hours.
Ralia in there, like leans over to Mosnell. She's like, I hear they have a fresh ham leg in the cafeteria.
The hard decision, but this is important. All right. Anything else?
I think for this meeting, I have nothing further to discuss.
Okay. So you guys leave out of this meeting on good terms. Everyone's excited. Armies are being moved around. People are getting to their tasks as soon as possible. Restorations of places are happening. Within a few days, I would say, it depends on how fast you move out, actually. What do you want to do right after the meeting? And then you also need to meet with the
Are there
small group
any
that's with you.
any sworn nearby the meeting?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
That is a 23.
Aha.
23. Is my book over there? You do see sworn, but none of the sworn that are her name, which is in my book, way over here. Give me a moment. It does not seem to be present at the moment.
Oh, what a shame. Oh boy.
You underestimate the depth of your mistake.
What's up? What'd you say?
I don't think I do.
What'd you say, Hunter? I'm back.
So I don't see her,
No, you do not see. Was it
Telrema,
Bella here?
Blairavar.
Blairavar. There it is. Blairavar.
Wow, that is a bougie name.
That is an elf name. What do you want from me?
I am going
Drow.
to approach one of the sworn.
Oh boy.
You see Pi, the familiar face of Pi. She's
Hello, Pi.
Just want to witness this and see what happens.
You see Pi. Hi, hello. How are you doing, Harry?
I'm doing well. I have a brief question, actually. Do you happen to know where Telrema is?
I believe she's aiding in the northern front. She's on her way back to Nature's Hold with some of the other sworn.
Very well, then. Thank you.
She nods.
How professional.
She is. Remember, she's the one that is always super serious, and then like she has to put on a front for like when she has to impersonate.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
That's who Pi
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Pi's great. All right. Given some time, Salem approaches your group with this little rinky-dink tag group of soldiers. You see a drow in the northern green and silver armor with the Tree of Life on his chest, and again the faceplate he takes off, and two drow on his side approach. You can see a large gray-skinned Goliath that seems to have Linrayu purple and black robes on,
Nice.
and you can see a Middle Eastern-looking, long black hair individual in a gray hood approaching the group as well. As Salem comes and goes, "Oh, it's good to see you all. Things are going well. This is the group that was brought up in our meeting a few days ago that wants to join you on your adventure up to Jingzhou. They can speak for themselves." As Salem steps aside, and the first individual to introduce himself seems to be the drow, and he seems to be... His armor's a bit fancier, and he was leading the other ones. It was like he was first, the two drow, and then the Goliath and the Middle Eastern-looking human was the packing order towards you guys. And he reaches his hand out right toward... right now where the group is, Mosnell's probably leading the pack of this group, like Ari on the side looking around, taking everything in. Bologna there, Ralia there, the whole group's there. Ulzal and Mosnell are probably like front and center of the group. As he reaches out his hand, and he goes... Greetings. Greetings, Chosen. I'm hoping you will deny our bid for joining you and accompanying you up to the north.
Who might you be?
I am Captain Arwin Firel, and these are my two trusted companions here. Theron
There-
Erenthrall and Various Orphandras. They're all very capable fighters. I have actually been fighting along in these large armies with you for quite some time now. I fought alongside at Nature's Hold during our last stand, and also when we lost Nature's Hold. Neverwinter and Tendorf, I was on the battlefields as well as my friends with us. And before you came and saved the war, I was fighting in the defenses of Changjing and Nature's Trust and Gaiyang. So we are hardened soldiers that wish to contribute to really what something must be legendary group as yourselves. I don't speak for the other two. They just apparently had an interest as well. As he motions towards the Goliath and the human.
I tilt my head up to the Goliath. And you?
I found the way you fought was quite honorable. And under Hitachi, I was given leave to try and help serve your group, to see what difference I could learn in this world and what gifts I could give to the chosen. You see all sorts of intricate tattoos of all sorts of would resemble elemental shapes and movement of like waves and winds and earths and fires all about this individual. He has the Lin Ryu face mask on him and the purple and black robes as he looks down. They call me Kang Guan.
All right. And you there in the hood.
And you see Salem sort of look over to him. He's like, yeah, you in the hood. And he looks... Well, it's pretty tough to not hear about the Chosen at this point. Working for the Grey Hand, it almost means... why wouldn't I try and find myself with the Chosen and aiding in whatever cause they can? I think you could always be of use of somebody as talented as myself inside, who was able to get inside the Grey Hand services. My name is Bashir. You see Salem. He is one of the better Grey Hand I've seen in my time, and he expressed interest of a leave of absence to try and aid with whatever you guys need in Jinzhou. He's been granted it from me because I trust him, but I trust you all more.
What does he look like species wise?
Human. He's just a Middle Eastern human,
Okay.
basically. Long black hair. He's got his Grey Hand cloak on, so it's like he's conserving a lot of stuff. Clearly, in Salem's division, could be of great benefit to the group.
All right. Well, we
Can I-
get to know.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Hunter. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Well, we can get to know you a little bit better over the coming days. We're gonna have our own discussions about what our immediate plans are gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
We may not immediately go over to Jingzhou, so
Noted.
we'll touch base with you all.
Your
regarding
TM
what-
suggests it. Just the bird thing, but don't worry about it. Keep going. Do whatever you want. I'm just putting that out there.
We're going to Soberheim today.
We can do it.
Well, I had my own thought I was gonna bring up to the group, but I
Sure.
want to bring it up in private.
Yeah, of course.
Can I
Yeah.
insight check the first guy that was talking? The soldiery guy?
Captain
Captain
Arwen Farrell.
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
Arwen seems a bit, I don't know. I rolled an 18 on my insight.
Okay. We're gonna go.
Seems a
talking.
bit too charismatic. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I keep... Stream.
All right.
All right.
Ah, wait. I forgot that was the thing that happened.
Arwen is, from what you can tell, very truthful and very prideful. And what seems like he doesn't bother with things that he wouldn't want to invest in. And he sees the Chosen as legendary of sorts. And he's very prideful and confident that this is a good hand to throw in with. Like, I want to be with what's probably going to be legendary. And
Right.
it's much better than, whatever he's going to get reassigned to in the Northern Army. He's trying to play his cards right to maybe get in with, he's still in the North, still doing his job, but maybe something else, maybe some other detail that includes the chosen.
Okay. All right. I will. Thank you.
Yep.
Like, Pimin or Frozen Fortress or something, but
I don't. Oh yeah, we were. You do have teleport now, so you could definitely get to Pimin.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi.
I'll just say to them, Aries right, and we are going to take a few days to decide, but I feel as though I should tell you that we're not going to be doing this for any kind of glory. We're just going to restore a city and set up our home. We're just going to try and serve the people humbly. It's not going to be about raising glory for ourselves or causing our own name to be lifted up. It's just about serving the people.
You see them nodding to one another. You can make insight checks if you care to read any of their reactions.
Can I make a general one?
Yeah.
All right, so that's 27.
They all take it very well. That doesn't seem to take any of them back. And you see Captain Arwen look to you guys and go, well, you've already spoken to glory. You're fine. We're not looking to find more excitement in that regard. We're just looking to help something that seems like quite a worthy cause.
It's good to hear.
We will leave you to your privacy. Let us know. We are just, and he shows you where they're hanging out, their camp is. We'll continue to get to know one another because it sounds like we do have a path forward. This is exciting news. Come, my brothers in arms. And they walk away. You see Salem. All right, I got to get tracking on all these orcs and everything. I'm going to be pretty busy for a while. Is there any last minute things you have of me?
Just thanks for your help throughout all of this mess. You've been a great asset and a better friend.
He grips your arm, you know, the classic on the forearms, but he takes the other arm too and bases on both sides of your arm. And you see him like, the feeling is exactly mutual. I cannot wait for us to have a party and to relax and to have a good time. To enjoy the world we fought for.
Now that will be glorious.
He releases your arm and he nods to the group and he gives one more moment before, just to see if anybody wants to ask anything of him before he leaves. All good. Salem takes his leave. Now it is just you guys by yourselves.
All right. That's interesting. We've got an entourage now.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Just breathe it in, Gary. Everybody. We killed that motherfucker.
Give me a wisdom saving throw, Mosnell.
Feels good.
Oh no!
Feels good.
It was Mansoon the whole time.
Wisdom, that's an 18.
Okay, good to know.
I'm pretty sure it's got to be like 21 or some shit.
Who knows? But you guys are enjoying the air. Taking it in.
Taking it in. Those Kobold Alliance pricks are done. North is free. Everyone's alliancing everyone's friends, besides a couple assholes. Things are pretty good.
Yeah, let's enjoy the peace while it lasts.
That's why we're doing this. I just, take a moment to enjoy it.
You can hear like some of the birds returning to the area after the days have gone by. And you're probably like 4 or 5 days now at Tendorf during the restoration and saving people, the days it took the armies to get here, the meetings and all that. The land's starting to feel alive again. And, there's hope for even the refugees, as now the talk of the leaders of redistributing them to the different kingdoms and trying to keep families together. Very positive. Not the stuff you normally hear during these type of aids. The Julian Fellowship is got a lot of goodwill right now, and having the Chosen at the front of it is another great banner to that. So you guys are literally like, all this craziness around you is going on, the camp, soldiers running around, people going different places. You're having this moment where it's just the 6 of you in this circle here. Like, everyone's ignoring you for once. And it's just this moment to take in, like, this peace you've had. A peace you haven't had since probably prior to Orlith.
Yeah.
I'll lay in the grass.
So, I did have one thing I wanted to touch base about.
What's that?
I wanted to make a suggestion in terms of our plans moving forward. So now that we don't really have as much of a pressing timeline, my thought is, if we trust this group, this entourage, possibly having them meet us over at Nature's Hold. Because I'm very curious to see what else is held in that cave we were exploring earlier. There were some areas that we didn't venture toward because we were pressing with the upcoming battle. We were unsure how far we wanted to delve into that.
We did already find some good stuff.
I mean, we don't know what else is in there, and I think now that we've got at least a little bit of time, we can take that moment to see if there's anything more. It seemed like there are a lot of interesting history in there.
Ralia will look through the eyes of her homunculus.
Okay.
I'm just not reading any of those books. I don't trust them.
The homunculus in there, you can tell it's slacking off. It's just chilling out and shit and living its best life. And you can see as it gets up, and the room looks basically the same, but as the eyes are turning, you can see this Goliath creature inside there looking back at the homunculus. Give me a perception check.
Oh, fuck.
16.
16. You can make out some of the markings that seem to be all around him, similar to Ares markings.
Oh.
As a Goliath,
I will
room.
describe it out loud as I see this.
Oh. He left the room.
Oh.
you can see as he pokes at the homunculus a little bit, right in the face, and one of your eyes, you can just, this blackness is happening with the homunculus, and you can hear, "Disgusting little thing, aren't you?"
I'm just gonna tell it to shake its head.
You see him lean down and take some of the gravel inside this room, and it looks like he turns back and walks into the back into one. I think it was a silver door where the spider.
Yeah, he was in the side room.
Well, he's
that
also
had
in there,
murals.
but I don't remember what color the door was to get into here because he was through the murals. There was each door had a different color on it in the main room you're in there. I believe it was silver that led you to the left.
I do have my notes somewhere, but
It's
we know it's a
literally
color
not
door,
important.
So,
It was only in case anybody was lawyering me. Did the door color change? Is that significant? No, I just too much credit there. No.
As long as we know where he's been and if he got any of the sweet loot.
He did not appear to have any sweet loot on him.
Okay.
Sweet loot.
So it might just be the guy that owns the place.
Uzo, it does not appear that he has any candies on him.
Well, this is important.
Do you really need candy that badly? We can
That's interesting,
go somewhere
though.
and get it for you.
When I was speaking with him, he made it sound like he didn't ever want to leave that room he was in.
Yeah, perhaps
So
that was a farce.
I'm definitely curious. I mean, he may have left if he had a reason to. It just sounded like he didn't agree with leaving the room.
Yes, I understand it is madness. I assume it is the same thing that has afflicted you. Perhaps it is something to do with how we have helped Eve. I do not know. Maybe he has heard some calling or something from that.
Maybe. But yeah, that was my thought, was have them meet us at Nature's Hold. We could explore this cave and then meet them there and make our way to Jingzhou.
I would be glad to do that. It's easy enough.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. We'll do it. Fuck it.
If we go to Jingzhou first, we can set up a sanctuary that we can teleport back to.
I mean, how friendly is the city going to be?
I think we have to
Liberate it.
liberate it. So
It's not
So
a
may-
massive city. It's not Whitestone.
Whitestone isn't that big. but-
It isn't, but it's not like Uprising 8 episodes Whitestone.
Yeah.
That's you.
No,
I don't have to hide shit from you in that respect.
no. Like they definitely gave us the biggest, most powerful and luxurious and defended city. I'm just kidding. No, we can.
I mean,
probably
we can move quickly because we've been there. We've been at least nearby. We were in Pinman with Ralia, so she could potentially transport us there directly.
True. I'm in no rush.
Yeah. Well, you guys decide. Go talk. I gotta go find something.
What do you guys think about that?
What would we be going to the cave for? What would we be trying to do?
I'm just curious to explore it more. We've got a little bit of free time. We don't have a extremely pressing deadline
You
on
got-
our back.
Plenty of free time. You
Uh,
can-
What's that,
we were kind of cut short because of there was some wariness about delving deep with the upcoming Siege of Neverwinter, and now that we've got a bit of openness, I think we can go in and delve a little bit further just to see what other secrets lie in there.
I think that is true. This is a rabbit hole I would be most interested in exploring. Honestly, those statues are still very, very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yes, there was that one stained glass mirror or whatever it was. We went through briefly, and we did not explore it anymore.
Yeah.
That I am quite interested in.
And then there was also the well. Now that we have a fairly reliable way out, I think. That's
Yeah,
something we
fairly
can
reliable,
utilize.
yes, fairly.
All right. So what are you guys doing? What's your plan? Let's do it. I'm up for whatever you guys want to do.
So we're gonna gather our troop.
Yeah.
We're gonna all teleport to Nature's Hold,
Okay.
right?
Can
No,
we
we're gonna-
teleport everyone?
We're gonna. I can only do myself and 8.
Isn't there?
You
Oh
can
wait,
do-
no. There's no
can
more
do
There's
circle.
no
You can do a
teleport
couple
circle, yeah.
days. Remember, we're talking long timelines here. So you can do this over the course of a couple of days, leave a couple of your friends there, teleport there, then take them back. So you could like split the group, half go with you guys up to Nature's Hold, and they wait a day. And at Nature's Hold, you could see what the hell's going on there, while the other group is, waiting on Raleigh to recharge. All that stuff is
Certainly.
you guys.
I can
I'm
teleport
interested in-
twice per day, so like I could teleport circle everyone to like Water's Deep or Water's Deep, and then teleport.
That sounds
that-
pretty good.
That would get us there in one day.
Done. So in one day.
Oh yeah, because they would have teleportation circle. Well, would they have it connected to Nature's Hold, a circle?
Well, that doesn't matter. So I can just teleport circle everybody to one teleport circle, and then use teleport itself, and then teleportation circle myself back, and then teleport again to teleport.
Oh, okay.
Because you could ritual cast that one. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a ritual. It's a 5th level spell. So.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's little boy magic.
Yeah.
Do you have the materials for it?
Little boy match.
He sure does.
Yeah.
He will be compensated just fine by the armies to make sure he has the materials for it.
Okay.
Part of your
I
title,
still
part of your
have my
reward.
gems and stuff.
Oh, cool. Well, you definitely burn those first. But
I have some.
If we're going to Waterdeep, I can go to Jordan Gemcrawler.
you can. The title Protectors of the Realm have benefits. I'll read it to you just so you get. It's not just whatever. People will treat you more kindly, that are all part of the fellowship, with respect. They will pay out any rewards for quests you do a little higher, and they will help at your request within reason. So it is like a net benefit to everybody inside the fellowship that as your protector of the realm, you are somebody that is revered, respected, happy to help and work with. But there are limitations. People will tell you to go fuck yourself if you ask too much of them.
Yeah, so I still do have 400 gold worth of emeralds, so
Sure.
that will go down to 300 if I'm casting twice. It just has to, you have to infuse it into inks and chalk,
Easy enough.
so down to 300. But by the
Okay.
time we get to
Then yeah, let's do it.
I want to get my 8 pounds of ruby from Jordan Gemcrawler.
As you come to Waterdeep, there is celebration throughout the streets, leftovers from when the war was announced and won. You can see confetti, streamers, flags. Parties have been non-stop for weeks now.
Oh, nice.
There's, again, almost every day there are people returning home, and the excitement is felt throughout the city. Although there is somberness in the mausoleums and graveyards from what you're able to tell and what you pass through in the city, as this was a very costly war. Even Brian was very much to give you that impression that as much as excited as we all are for this, it has a heavy toll on her more than any of the other leaders. She takes it a lot more personally, and any of the deaths in the north suffered a majority of the casualties because they were the closest by proxy to Escott and their conquest. They lost a lot of people, and it's hard. It hurts everybody who lost people to this war on all sides. There's that sad reality with war that there is no net benefit to war. The only good thing about it is it's over. You're able to come across Gemcrawler's residence. As you enter, you can see him startled. Oh! As he sees you, he's just worried that, like, you've come for him. Because you were shady as fuck with all the gemstones that happened last time.
Afternoon, Mr. Gemcrawler.
Afternoon, Mr. Ulazol. I've heard
Do
quite
you-
the stories about you since I last saw you. Part of the Chosen. Oh, oof, you are... You're tight with the big people upstairs, huh?
Well, I suppose that kind of access can be given to anyone with enough dedication.
Right, but you don't see me reviving hundreds and hundreds of people. You're here for your stone, probably! As he reaches down, trying not to let a lull in the conversation happen, and he takes up the rubies. What did you request of him again?
I think I requested half of it just to be cut into, like manageable 100 gold chunks, and then the rest of it to be turned into dust.
Gotcha, right.
So 8 pounds of ruby
Yeah.
is worth approximately how much?
I'd say you're looking at about 25,000 gold pieces for 8
25,000.
pounds.
Very cool.
so you
So,
have 12,500 of each.
Yep.
yeah, I totally do.
Nice.
Of ruby dust and of gem cuts. I know that is exciting to the casters, but these are the risks you take, and these are called payoffs, baby.
Yeah, all that ruby dust is looking mighty fine.
Oh, I know.
You see Raleigh. What's going on over here? It's not dust. You see her simulacrum too. I like the idea of the simulacrum. Even if I'm not saying
Wasn't
it
it
right.
destroyed?
Yeah, he'll mention
Yeah,
one.
it's
But
a stretch.
I like the idea. He probably, knowing Ralia, she probably as soon as possible tried to make another one.
Ha.
Well, yeah, but once she gets all this ruby dust from Lazal,
I like the idea of like she's down laying in the ruby dust. And she's like, "Oh, this is the stuff," and the other one is just like always just like pale face, where there's actual emotions on Ralia, but the other one is pretty neutral. Just puts its face in it, and it's just copying what Ralia does.
I will ask Mr. Gemcrawler to wrap up the. How much ruby dust did you need? Like 400 gold worth, or was it more?
more than that.
Okay.
I will tell you in a second.
I would like him to wrap that portion up in a nice gift wrap.
1,500.
1,500. Okay. I will. I would like that portion specifically gift wrapped,
Sure.
so that I can just leave a gift on her mantle for her.
In a beautifully intricate wooden box, and it's all like
Nice.
polished. It has the finish on it. It's smooth to the touch. It has, you can see all the grains in it, and just on the outlines, a little tint of gold on it. Free of charge, gives it to you. He goes, "This would be my honor to give this to you." As he hands over the box to yours, he has more like treasure chest. He hands over to you. The inside the treasure chest, you have the gemstones that there's like, I'd say, cloth all laid out, this beautiful tapestry holding all the gemstones that he cut, and they're all beautifully cut for the most part. One or two of them didn't come out great. But the rest of them are almost like flawless rubies all around. And then the dust is in a bag all tied up next to it, and the treasure chest you have.
This is excellent workmanship, Mr. Gemcrawler. I have loved doing business with you.
Oh,
I will make sure everyone who needs gem cutting needs knows the name Jardim Gemcrawler.
I would appreciate that, Ulazal. That would make me a very, very happy man. I'm sure to put your compliments on the front door.
Absolutely. Do so with pride. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.
He returns the courtesy, and you have it as you return, as Ralia is like, and everyone's like, "Come on! Time to go!"
This is important. This will be useful.
While we're in town,
Sure.
I do want to take a brief stop at a blacksmithery.
Okay.
And I want to inquire about just kind of some standard, like, solid, like, iron or steel bracelet that could be worn on everyone's hands for 6.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I know
easy.
where there's an empty blacksmith shop.
Yep.
Not for long.
Technically, they
if,
could
like-
be back at this point.
That's crazy to hear.
We're just making a brief stop. This is
Yeah.
a brief thing. So I'm just looking for basically like 6 fairly sturdy bangles
Yeah.
that can be purchased.
Bangles, 6 of them, 1 gold piece.
Okay.
Nice.
And then as we're making our way to the teleport, I'm gonna kind of lean over to Ralia. So, Ralia, you casted a spell on us a while back that let us communicate telepathically.
Yes.
What do you know about enchanting?
I have never personally done it, but I have studied a bit. Continuously casting a spell on something, and eventually it may take upon that matter.
Is there any way we might be able to utilize these as a similar fashion without costing you that spell every day?
I suppose it may be possible. DM.
You'll have to. It is possible. You're gonna need help. We'll see how it goes. There'll be rules. It is possible.
This is a pet project I have for the side.
Yeah.
Like it can be something we can work on
It will
in
be
our
something
free
you work
time.
on.
And I kind of just hand them over to Ralia, the 6 bangles, just like
She's like, great, now I have to carry these. Thanks.
Well,
I'll put them in the bag of holding.
Sure. I'll give it enough time, and maybe you'll have a place to store all your shit now. We'll see.
This is just a
Just
side.
emptying the bag.
We can carry so much more now that we can dump it in a place. All right.
Yeah, and that was my brief little shopping.
Nature's Hold. Do you guys want to take a break? Because now you guys want to do a lot of stuff. We can go later to 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was going to be a shorter session, but if you want to explore the tomb, if you want to go and do the other thing, that's possible. If you're cooler with the short session, that's fine. None of it matters to me. Just gauging you guys now.
I gotta go grab some food, so
All right,
we
let's
can
go take a
short
break.
Quick break.
All right, welcome back. You guys had just teleported out of Waterdeep into Nature's Hold, where the Nature's Hold is happily turned the tides at this point. You can see frost giants walking around. All sorts of individuals are out and about, lizard folk and northern soldiers, as people are taking in their surroundings as best they can, getting things going. Is there anything you want to do at Nature's Hold?
First things first is we are gonna have find some lodgings for our compatriots, because I'll go to explain to them. So we are going to take a brief detour. We're gonna have you all remain here, so that when we return in the next couple days, we can make our way towards Jingzhou.
You see them smile for a second? For a second there, we thought we were about to have our work cut out for us going to Lianzhou, but Jingzhou sounds a lot more task we can handle. We'll wait your return, unless you would like us to scout ahead.
I think because we have a method of getting there quite rapidly. So just take your time, rest up, help around the city.
Certainly, if that is your order, and we will follow.
I'm guessing Raleigh is probably going to need a night to recharge.
Sure.
So
anything else?
we're hanging out for a night. I'm gonna go on an adventure.
Okay.
Oh, I just want to ask one of the frost giants. Hey, did you ever find the hills? The hill giants.
Can you speak giant?
Oh, I sure can't. That's a good point. Moss, come with me. I'm curious.
Well, okay.
Ask them if they ever found the hills. If they ever dealt with the betrayers. Drama.
All right. Hello there.
You see one of them turn as he's just sort of chilling out with another frost giant as he's eating this gigantic slabs of meat. It looks like entire cows, basically. And you see him turn to you. Hello there, Mosnell. As he bows a little bit, the other one, do we bow now? As they're talking back and forth, their booming voices.
We were just curious if you were able to find the hill giants at all.
Through the help of a hill giant, we were able to find them.
Oh. He wouldn't happen to be named.
Was it Jaeger?
He's quite a weird name.
Was it Chive?
Jiver.
Jiver! You see that one? Yes, him and another lot. Tried to make good with Brine, but he came and found the frost giants. We paid them quite a visit, and there was definitely a change of heart.
I'm sure there was.
The other one looked, we fucking killed some of them.
Oh.
You see, not.
So did I.
Ah! And he goes to high five you, but almost crushes you. And he's like, oh, almost. You see this exchange going, and it was all you're like, oh! As he's about to crush Mosnell, but then he pulls back, and there's laughter everywhere. You have no idea where this has gone, this conversation at Giant. One of their leaders over there that helped decide. We just, took his head and put it on a pike, and their feelings changed. Easy.
Easy clap.
Now,
that'll do the trick.
Obviously, it helps when you have more than just us, and you see the other one call. No, it was mainly us. He's like, it was majority Frost Giant work for certain, but the hills, have their deceptive ways, and the hill defectors, or I guess loyalists. And the other one looks at it, like, I don't know what that word means. He's like, I heard him call him that. Loyalist. It's probably a thing of pride or something like that. He led us to him, and we did our thing, and some soldiers the Frostborn might have helped or whatever, but we got it.
Well, good work then.
Listen to that. Mosnell told me good work. He's like, oh, didn't tell me good work. Ah! They're hit their drinks. They are definitely enjoying themselves down here.
Sure.
They were frozen for months and months during the war, so
yes,
these are some awfully lively frost giants.
Do you know what happened to the hill giant Jiver?
He's probably there. If you ever want to take a trip out there and say hi, you can tell him he's pretty darn great. He's the best, as he looks at the other one, loyalist we ever knew. Yeah, I never actually talked to him, but I'm sure he would tell you frost giants were there.
Will do. Thank you, and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, you too. Try to not kill any giants with that fucking massive axe you got there. That's terrifying. Good night. They can clearly see your giant slayer axe.
Yeah, that's only for the bad ones.
Well, there's plenty of those. We should have had him when we kicked their asses. Yeah, we should have.
All right.
Frightening conversation to watch.
We were just, joking around. They found him, killed a bunch of them. They found Jiver, their friends. Hill Giants fell in line. Leader head on stake. Everything's good.
Well, I suppose that solves the problem. That's one thing that's not on our list, I guess.
Yep.
Well,
By Tyr's blessing! And you hear the shout behind you, Ulazal and Mosnell.
Oh my god.
As you turn around, you see a bunch of knights down to one knee as one has his arm far out, and they're all muttering to themselves.
I'm sorry, can I help you?
One of them stands, "This is Ulazal Uto!" As they come closer to you and they go back down to their knee. "We are the Knights of Tyr.
Oh my goodness, would you please stand up? I'm just a human being.
You have shown us the way, Ulazal Uto. He talks through you, Ulazal. The great balancing scales of the world." And you see another one lead over at the balancing scales of the world. What you notice, 3 of them are awfully short. They are dwarves. The other 2 are humans.
Very cool.
The 2 humans are toward the back, and the 3 dwarfs are kind of lead the triangle front here, as they are all in a state of awe in front of you. "Oh, it's so good to see you again. Oh, look at you, as he starts punching your leg, this dwarf in front of you. Short red beard. He's got some braids that go down the sides of his face inside this. All of them have very white armor, very paladin-esque like, these knights.
Right.
And they all look at you. "We took your initiative. We saw your actions and how they lead, and we followed. And we followed what Tyr asked of us. And I must say, Tyr guided us through." You see another one of the dwarves. "It wouldn't have been possible without the great balance of Tyr." And you see one of the humans speak up. It was divine intervention.
He definitely won't leave you out to dry. When you call to him and follow his ways, he will get you through.
You see one of the dwarf comes over and he goes, come over here. Look here to Morgan. As he takes your hand, he's like, Morgan, take it off. And Morgan undoes his chest plate a bit, and he puts his hand, and you can feel all these healing wounds underneath his shirt as the dwarf is guiding you around him. And he goes, do you feel that?
Yes, it looks like somebody's been learning how to heal.
Not just somebody. All of us have been touched by Tyr. But more importantly, there was a point at which we were going to give up in the fight in Nature's Hold. We called out to Tyr, and it was Morgan who withstood the Cobalt assault. He was able to buy us needed time. He stood in a choke point in one of these hallways, and he was stabbed repeatedly, over and over and over. But he did not die. And we prayed to Tyr, and he did not die. And he suffered, and he gave us enough time for the frost giants to flank the bastards. And the other ones start like high-fiving each other.
Morgan, it seems like you're quite the hero.
I am only but an instrument of Tyr. And you see, I'm sure it is all of us here, instruments, through your teachings, Ulazar Uto. He just keeps smacking stuff. He's just flabbergasted with joy to be seen him. He's here! Look at it, right in front of us. Never thought I'd see him again.
I'm very proud of all of you.
Oh, we're proud to serve. Proud to serve the one and great Lord. Not the only one, but definitely one of the greatest.
For sure. Absolutely. My favorite.
Ours too. You all see them, of course, mine too, mine too. As Maz now, you're just like, what is this shit?
What is going on?
Well,
should I leave? Should I stay? A little uncomfortable.
It is most encouraging seeing all of you continue in the way and guide others along their path and just keep doing what you're doing and fighting for good in the world. Thank you.
We will certainly, Ulazar Uto. And you see them all nodding in approval. May Tyr's blessing be with you. And you hear them all, Tyr's blessing with you. Tyr's blessing with
you. Oh my God, Maslow, did you see that? That was so weird.
You had quite the impression on them.
I guess so. I don't remember their names.
Well, that one was named Morgan.
Well, yeah, but that's fantastic. I mean, I didn't even mean to convert them, and that's incredible. It just happened.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go now.
All right.
All right. You guys can find your quarters for the night, unless there's anything else you'd like to do inside Nature's Hold.
I'm gonna sneak around.
Okay.
Well, not sneak around, but walk away.
Okay.
I'm gonna look for some sworn.
Go ahead and
the real reason we came out here.
Go make a perception check.
This man thinks I can't make a perception check. 27.
You search, and there does not seem to be any sworn here. You can ask around. You were told they'd be here.
I will certainly ask around.
You eventually track down an individual that looks like they know what they're doing, and they're like, yeah, they left a few days ago from the cutoff point for the reinforcements of the Cobalt Wolves. They should probably be here in 3 or 4 days. You only teleport it in a single day to get to Nature's Hold. Mere mortals have to travel on foot. So they're still where they are, traveling toward Nature's Hold.
All right.
I'll let them know the Chosen were looking for them.
Yes, certainly.
All right.
And I will reapproach the group.
Okay. Everybody else, you all good?
We're good. Bed
Ooh,
down.
actually, the one thing I was going to look around for.
Okay.
If anybody would be willing to part way with a healer's kit.
Do I have one of those? Let me check my equipment. It doesn't make any sense that I would have one of those. No, I don't. I'm sorry. I have a potion of healing. That doesn't do the same thing.
Sure. For 1 gold piece, you can buy a healer's kit off one of the shops inside Nature's Hold.
Cool.
They're definitely out and about.
Because I can actually use those as a bonus action. So,
Cool.
Oh, that's really good.
yeah.
You're a healer, Ari.
I'm a partial healer.
You're a blizzard, Harry. All right. Is that it? Going to bed?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. As the night takes you, before the next day starts.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. As the rainfall comes down upon the night, and inside your dreams, you see yourself at the dinner table with your family, a recurring dream that happens from time to time. Your brother's there, and it seems like you're in a different house, not the one that was burnt down, but one of the earlier houses you stayed in during your younger childhood. You enjoy relish the memories you had with them, talking to both your mother and father and brother. And as the dream goes as normal as it can be, everything freezes and stops mid-conversation. People talking to one another, your little brother about to put food inside his mouth, everything just comes to a standstill inside your dream. And you hear a stern voice. You asked for power. I gave you power. And you were able to do what you desired. You achieved your goal. I do not believe your goal is over. There is more to do now that you have done what you desired. I need you to earn what I have given. There will come a time where you will find a false shepherd, and you will destroy him, smite him using my strength to show that my markings are not madness. They are not to be used to plague others. You will do this. In return, I don't offer just power. I offer you your family back. And then the dream continues. They come back into animation, the voice fades, and you wake from your sleep sitting straight up.
Holy shit.
Okie dokie.
Oh, he back.
There we go. Hunter, turn your cam on and you'll come back. The boxes will fix. All right. It's the middle of the night for Tyrion. Nope. Fuck. Ugh. Your name says Tyrion on the little cards here. All right, it's not my fault.
I know.
Harry.
True.
It's been a blessing not having Bologna here tonight. Let me tell you. you guys are able to awake the next morning. Still the light rain falling upon the lands of Jinzo. You
I
guys
mean, nature's hold?
is inside the lands of Jinzo.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's the entire northern half.
Right. Gotcha.
Harry definitely looks a little bit like he's got something ruminating on his mind.
Look like you got something on your mind, sport.
A little bit of a stare going on.
As there's a big smack on the back from Ulazal in the morning. His insight senses are going bonkers.
What you thinking about?
I just had a very strange dream last night.
What was it about?
It was just one about my family. Not sure what to make of it at the moment. Is one I've had before, but it is a little bit different. I don't know. I'm still trying to process what was going on. Dreams, they can be odd.
Is it related to a memory?
It was, yes. It was just. It's been a recurring dream, and then it was a little bit different. Like I said, I'm still trying to process exactly what that meant.
I mean, I don't know the depths of your circumstance, but the mind tends to want to resolve any regrets it has, and perhaps these dreams are a way of doing that.
Yeah, that's certainly fair.
If there's anything I can do to help, or Ralia can do to help, and you ever need us, you know that we're here for you.
Certainly. No, I do trust you all. If you happen to hear about that creature that we heard some rumor about,
Which one?
The one from the vision attacking the mountain.
Oh, the one from Eve's, the rag, right? Is that it?
That beast that was also utilizing markings. If you ever hear anything, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling you'll probably be there if I hear anything.
Yeah, no, probably, but just in case.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, I got a thing. And I hold up the healer's kit.
Oh, good, you'll be pulling your weight now.
That's rude, but I was thinking I'm pretty quick, and so in a pinch I might be able to help out.
Do you know what all these things do, Harry?
Not really, but
do you know what's in that vial?
Something
do you know
that
how much of that
people...
you can give someone before they start having a seizure?
I mean, it's obviously it's not that complicated.
It's not that complicated, he says. And people go to school for how long to learn how to use these?
I don't know what you're talking
The fucking
about.
irony of this conversation. I love it. That's wow. There's like a cleric in the background going, "You dedicate your whole life. You never stop learning." As they're like walking by.
Listen, if you do need to use this, you're going to use this salve here, and you just slap it on their eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
Thank you.
That fixes everything.
I mean, it fixes most things. You'd be surprised.
Just
As long
slap
as
it
you
on
don't
the
like
eye.
mess it up, you just slap it on there. The herbal remedy does its thing. You know, it just really gets in there.
It's a good temporary fix.
I'm glad you're not my doctor.
Hey, what do you got? Some of the squishy stuff? Yeah, slap that shit on there. That should be good. Rub it around.
Right in the eyes.
Make sure you blind yourself. That's key. Then you can't see the problem anymore. Then it's gone.
All right.
All right. What's next?
I believe
Ralia.
you.
And you teleport to the ruins?
I will look through my homunculus.
Yep. Still there. Everything's still the same place. A lot less rubble in that room now.
And I will prepare everyone and teleport.
All right. You're able to teleport. You're outside the Broken Hill cave.
Let's do it.
You guys go up to the door. You find the markings on the front of the door. Ulazal, what do you do?
Oh, I do the monkey thing. The see no evil and hear no evil and smell no evil, or whatever.
It works, and it opens. I know what you meant. Okay. You can change your music back to the Twilight one.
Ooh,
That
Twilight.
was already shared. What is it? Twilight Midnight Syndicate.
Yes.
Spooky.
Indeed.
I think it's on my phone. This is here too, though, right? Yep, okay. Let me just grab my phone, actually. I thought I had the map on my laptop. So it's actually on the phone. All right. And you guys are in the room, the opening foyer, and the statues are still arranged in the same way you left them.
You said it looks a little bit different?
Just not as much rubble. It seems like all the rubble has been cleared out of this place.
I have a quick pit stop before we move forward.
Okay. Just make sure you do it outside the camp.
Not that. I wanna go see the Goliath quickly.
Right.
Okay, so you need to... You go to take the right, you go into the spider's cave. It seems like the cobwebs are still in the same place as you remember. The giant pit in the floor still exists. The statue is still moved over where you guys found the hidden armory behind. And then there are the 4 statues, or the 4 mosaic paintings. I believe the one with the gong is the one you're looking for.
I will touch the portrait.
Okay, and you end up in the long hallway. Are you guys going with Aerie, or are you just letting him go ahead?
I mean, I'd like to keep an eye on him.
Sure, you can go with him, guys. I mean, it's up to you.
Do you want to go by yourself?
I mean, you can join me if you'd like.
I'd like to make sure you don't get yourself killed.
I will
When
wait.
have I ever killed myself?
I will not go in with them, but I'll send my proposal.
Sure. Come back to life, damn it! That didn't work. Out of my way, Ulazal! As you see Bellona reviving him.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Alright.
So I'm gonna make my way to the Colossus.
Yep. You come upon the 2 giant lava pits, and you see it just standing there.
I'm gonna flip a platinum coin into the lava.
He then gets up, and he's now making his way over to hit the gong. So you have your opportunity to get across.
I'm going to move across.
As you move across, there are the 2 doors that were there from last time.
I'm gonna go into the purple door.
As you open up the purple door, it's still darkness all the way into this area. You can
I'm gonna make my way down into the steps and look towards the end.
You can see the glowing purple eyes of the Goliath sitting down like he was when you left him.
Hello again.
Are you just gonna bother me now? Is this my fate? Am I gonna have to board the damn doors up?
Well, you know, we're brothers in arms.
I'm going to cut my arm off for that.
I just do like a very light chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious. My friend has her little watchdog at the entrance to the cave, and noted you were out and about. I was just curious about that. You made it seem like you didn't want to leave ever.
Don't.
So why venture out to the mouth of the cave?
Sometimes you gotta stretch your legs.
Were you the one that cleared all the crap that was up there?
Yeah, I was.
Alright. Out of curiosity, this place, does it keep you out of its reach?
I hope so.
I guess my more reasonable question would be, have you ever been reached out to since you've taken residence here?
Can't say I have, but I'm sure you're a nice liability.
Has it ever spoken to you about a false shepherd?
You're walking on mighty thin ice.
Because I think I know of an entity that fits that profile. And it is not you. It is a different entity.
Amusing.
And I just wasn't sure if you'd be willing to share if you knew anything.
Nope.
A creature of immense power, goes by the name of, starts with an R. Demon or lizard-like in appearance.
Sounds like a mighty tale.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
I want to see if he's trying to hide something more. That is a good solid 16.
Tough to tell. He clearly has had plenty of time to hone his skills of deception. Whether he's being straight or not, there's more or not, tough to tell. He definitely seems to know plenty. Not particularly about this situation, but he looks like worldly. Not like he's withholding, but like he has that confidence, like, I've been around. I've seen a lot.
Yeah. Did it ever speak to you about that? About what I mentioned?
Listen, if you're gonna come in here and berate me with questions about a life I don't want to be a part of, I don't think we're gonna get pretty far.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to prevent something that I'm worried about.
You hearing voices in your head? Worried about it? Little whispers?
The voices are not what I'm worried about. There's been rumors of an impending, for lack of a better term, apocalypse. Something to match the collapse.
Oh my word.
And I get the suspicion that this false entity may be a part of it, and that it is utilizing the god of these markings in a way that it did not intend for its power to be used.
You see him stand up and draw close to you, and there's a little bit of rage on his face as he takes his massive Goliath-sized finger and he points it right into your chest as he towers over you, Aerie, and he goes, "Make no mistake, no lizard creature is gonna make another collapse. You don't have the faintest idea of what powers that be that could have." You see him just going off into the distance. I wouldn't worry about an apocalypse from a lizard.
The lizard itself isn't what I'm worried about, but the tide it brings. I think it's playing a role in something. It is a key figure in something that is coming.
Well, then I guess it's good we're stuck in here.
Very well. You enjoy your stay.
Good luck with your lizard.
And I will leave him.
All right. You come back out. The giant creature is the shadow-like entity watching the lava still. Ulazal and the homunculus on his shoulder waiting across the way. The only light being the glow of the lava and a few torches on the walls.
Do I need to pay again, probably?
Yeah.
So I'll toss us just a single gold.
As you toss the gold, he doesn't budge.
Really?
All does a platinum.
So I will toss platinum.
He gets up and he goes for the dog.
Let me pay for you, baby.
I will move across. It's already done.
Yeah. You move across. You catch up to Ulazal and the homunculus. Ulazal, you see Aerie come to you. You can describe what your face looks like for Ulazal. Gauge the reaction.
It's not shown immediately, but there's definitely a hint of frustration that maybe I didn't get what I was looking for.
Your insight's enough, Ulazal, to be able to perceive something similar to that.
Right.
Up to you what you want to do with that information.
Didn't find what you were looking for?
He wasn't interested in talking very much.
Well, he went through all the trouble of hiding himself in here, so can't say that's all that surprising.
No, but he sounded like a jaded old man who just wanted to forget everything, even when his insight maybe could lead to the saving of lives.
Well, when the time comes, we'll just have to do our part. Whatever happens is going to happen, and we'll do our best.
Yeah.
That's all we really can do.
It's true.
You guys make it back to the room where the entire crew is waiting for you. Bologna sitting on a statue. Belfina playing around with whatever remains of the rocks inside here, making little druid-like structures out of it. Mosnell leaning on his axe, trying to keep his mind busy, and Ralia talking with Morta on his shoulder. Her shoulder. As you guys come back, you're all grouped up. What would you like to do?
So, I hear there was a pillar that was infernal, right?
Yeah, but you guys learned everything.
Oh, we did? Okay, I was absent for that. My bad.
Yeah, you learned all. Oh, did no one ever tell him what the names were?
No.
He was there, so you could remind him what the names were because he translated the languages.
That would be cool.
Oh, Jesus.
I can send them to you because I don't want to read all of these.
Okay.
These are the names that comprehend languages allowed Ralia to understand.
How did you get away with that?
Get away with stealing the thing?
He didn't steal it. He gave it back, and then if you keep going, it has different costs when you open a book. And some for better stuff, it's really expensive. For what he had, it wasn't that expensive.
Okay. Re-rolled this deal.
What's that, Dad? I mean, that's not tissue paper. I don't. You can use any of my scrap paper. You're more than welcome to. Yeah, that's packing paper. Yeah, there's nothing in my office. Sorry, what'd you say? Did you get them all the names?
He's working on
I'm
it.
typing them out.
It's all good. Take your time. Where did we have somewhere else to go in the cave then?
So the next one was that final portrait that brought us to the bridge that we did not cross.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's cross that them there bridge.
As you guys enter in through the rooms and you start crossing the bridge, Ralia is slowly recounting the names as she's trying to think of it, and Morta on her shoulder being like, wasn't it this? And she's like, no, I think it was more. And they're having this back and forth as you guys are walking on this bridge. As you continue walking, you notice it's long and arduous. Like, you've been walking for like 5 minutes, and it looks like the door is right behind you, and you haven't made much progress on this bridge.
And I have my ridiculous dark vision, and I remember looking to the side, I couldn't see anything.
With your new bow, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my 320 feet of dark vision.
Yeah, no, it's not enough.
Why is Sumtril here? This makes me nervous.
That was one of the names of one of these.
This makes me nervous.
Of one of these godly beings.
Oh.
Supposedly
godly beings.
That one is associated with the druidic symbol.
Okay.
They each have a symbol attached to them, but
Yes.
Okay. This is cool.
That was the big lore drop from that.
King of New Gods. Okay. Argon.
Pargem.
oh, Zenny. I wrote that poorly.
It's fine.
Oof, okay. That's some information.
As Ulazal remembers,
Right.
certainly. All right. As you finish telling him this conversation, you have noticed you have not made much progress in this bridge that seems to just keep going and going and going. You can see this glow underneath it of this greenish moving waves in this long bridge, and it seems to be lit by the bottom. In the darkness on here, it's just this endless vastness of green. It's not very bright, but you can hear the waves moving back and forth. And actually, give me a perception check for everybody to see if you can hear anything in here.
22.
7.
15.
still caught up in your thoughts. Belfina? And somebody have Bellona's? Want to roll for her?
Pull up her good old sheet there.
I should just roll a normal d20. This is taking too long.
Yeah, well, I mean...
We'll race.
Ooh.
That's a 17.
10 for you.
Anybody over
For
20?
perception?
Yeah, your perception's like plus 10.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So then like 27?
Yeah, it's like a 27.
So anybody over 20, you hear this strange like movement of air. It's a strange hiss, and you can also, with your 27 Belfina, you're able to hear this like breathing far in the distance, and a lot of them are these like
Which direction is that from?
well, for Belfina, like the moving of the air, you guys get that from all around you. Belfina, you hear it all around you from all sides. It seems like all the walls seem to be where the sound is. Yeah. And
Okay,
you can't
I really
see
like
the
that.
walls. Sure.
Guys, the walls are breathing.
That's...
That sentence out of context makes it sound like I'm high.
Welcome to D&D.
So... Creatures on the wall. Are there any creatures there? Now that we're aware of the sound?
You can, well, it's very dark in here, and you can't quite
Right.
see the ends of the walls, so if you guys could try and figure out a way to see the ends of the walls.
Even a ceiling?
It gets dark before you can see where it
Yeah.
ends. It is big, this vastness.
So
I'm gonna draw one of my arrows
Uh-huh.
and kind of... Ralia, can we attempt the same trick we did before at Neverwinter?
Which was
Light the end of my arrow,
yes,
my energy arrow. Try to give it a bright light.
very well. I will cast light on his arrow.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do it first to the left direction
Yeah.
and just release.
Roll to hit.
Oh shit.
did we walk into a big slime? That'd be crazy.
That is a 24.
You hear a... Go ahead and roll damage. You have sneak attack.
Oh shit. That's not good. Let's see.
As you put the arrow off, you see it going towards the walls, and you see this light. Just before impact, you can see the outlines of all these strange creatures, winged creatures, all around these nests. And it goes
Winged,
right
you say?
into one.
So that is gonna be 41 piercing damage and 10 force damage.
Okay. Let me write that down. A
Lots of
cacophony
these.
of awful demonic screams start reaching out.
Oh
as you hear
no.
this.
Everyone get some lights up, prepare for a fight.
As you hear this swarm happens. You keep hearing these like, but these high screech tones as well, and this like blackness, this mist starts coming everywhere. And as you go to turn for the door behind you, it now seems miles and miles away, and you can see these winged creatures all like smoke all across them. These faces, like you can see these glowing yellow eyes as the smoke is coming across their faces, and you see 30, 40 of them start swarming around the bridge as one of them is angry, has the arrow, and you see it lean down with its long neck and crack it in half.
Well, this was one of my energy arrows,
Okay, then it's gone.
so it didn't last.
Cool. So then that doesn't happen. As you guys are seeing all this swarm and you're all starting to go back to back and take it in, this giant head slams down onto the bridge, followed by another one on the other side. This massive looking fish head with all these frills on it, but it's what you remember seeing as the sky swimmers inside the frost giants, the storm giants vision. Remember when you were in the trials and they were going through the skies? It was these creatures, and their heads slammed down onto the bridge, and those creatures are going all in circles, and they look to you, and there's like all this ichor and blood coming out of their mouths, the heads of these giant beings on both your sides, and then one of them starts to grin, and you hear this very low tone. Think a little the Lord of the Rings, the guy at the gate, how low his voice was, with the big teeth that they did the
Mouth of Sauron.
That's it, the Mouth of Sauron. And you hear him. What delicious food we have in front of us, don't you say, brother? And the one behind you, so delicious, I cannot believe they have come into our lair. We should probably eat them. Oh, but should we wait? As it starts going back and forth. We could build up to it, the excitement of eating for some age. But won't you think the others will try and eat them before us? As you see them like coming down and trying to grab at you guys. Ooh, I could say so. I think so. And these big, gross purple tongues just keep coming across as more of this like blood is coming down onto the surfaces. What are you guys doing?
Freaking the heck out, dude. These things are gross.
Yeah.
These things appear alive, right? Like they're not undead.
They appear that way, yes.
Okay.
You know, I don't fancy being eaten today. You could just let us pass along the bridge and get out of your hair.
Make a persuasion check.
That would be a great time for a crit.
17.
Oh.
Not today, he says. Doesn't want to die today. Well, I wouldn't want to be eaten today. Oh, it's always a good day to eat, though. As they look back to each other. How long would you like to wait before we consume you? Oh, brother, I can't wait. I will consume them right now. As its maw opens up and tries to grab at one of you, give me a death saving throw.
I cast Dawn at 5th level.
What does that do?
Blast that thing. It's a pillar of radiant energy.
All right, you want to fight these? All right.
It's trying to grab somebody.
It certainly is. What does Dawn do? Let's see.
Constitution save, please.
All right. That is a 18.
That saves, so you take 10 radiant.
All right. Doesn't seem to have a lot of effect on it.
Ah, damn.
And as you do that, I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Okay.
As you put your focus on attacking this thing.
18.
18? Pretty good. You feel these mist-like claws grab out to your shoulders and start to lift you up, and you push it down as one of those things. You get a closer look at these bat-like wings and this like constantly foaming mouth and these yellow eyes, sharp teeth that are looking at you. Not a dragon, for the record. Not a dragon. I don't want to hear that. Demonic, shadow-looking creature.
Like a wraith.
It's more animalistic. It has wings. It's not like lich-like. That's not what I'm getting after here.
Okay.
As it backs up and flies, and you see the two heads go, ooh, they almost took one from us, brother. I can't have them taking one of us. I'm so hungry, brother.
I'm just gonna passively attempt to use Command Undead on one of the things that's flying above us. So if it's undead, it affects it. If it doesn't, then it's not.
Normally it says undead. Where on the stat block?
It's usually like right on the top.
Yeah.
Right underneath the name.
I just see large monstrosity, neutral evil.
Not undead.
Like skeleton says medium undead. So
Gotcha. No, large monstrosity, neutral evil for free. It's about 30 of them.
All right.
Well, we might
Well,
be able to eat them.
why don't you?
Yeah.
Why don't you eat those things? They seem plentiful.
Plentiful, but not nutritious. Oh no, we've tried. You see them? Yes, brother. We've tried.
I would like to see you do it. Get one. Prove to me that you got one before.
Make a persuasion check.
While he's working on this, can I like look around and see if there's like salad stuff?
Hey, yo,
Can I try to make them a salad?
now would be a great time to become a vegetarian.
I mean, can you? Do you have anything that can try
You
and
could probably make plants.
can you make
I
plants?
mean, I don't know if I can make plants,
Go
but
see.
like,
See if you can.
I got an 18.
I'm freaking
18?
hospitable, so I mean, that can only help.
You see him goes, brother, he does not believe us. Well, we'll show him what we can do. And you see right now, and every time they talk, though, you just keep getting this gushing of gross ichor out of their mouths. It is really grotesque, these faces. And one of them goes, shall you, brother? And he goes, shall I, brother? And head goes up, and it's this like long snake-like neck as it goes up into the air, and it grabs about like, I'd say 6 of them in its mouth, and you just hear this crunch, and you hear them all swarm, and you hear more start to come closer, and they start swarming and pecking and at it. They actually start cutting and grabbing at it, and you hear these awful shrieks. I need everybody to make a con saving throw. But it seems unaffected. You guys put your hands on your ears as these things shriek, and you see the other thing as it's crunching away on them.
22.
27.
Save.
Mine was a 19.
Save.
So.
Get him safe.
18.
Save. Oh, I shouldn't have rolled for Bologna. That's a natural 3.
Oh no.
Bologna falls to the ground, unmoving.
Excuse me? Unmoving is in unconscious?
She looks... Give me a medicine check.
Sure.
As you go down to her side immediately.
27.
She appears paralyzed.
Okay.
Mazna, what'd you roll on your check as well?
What was it?
Con. All right, I get it.
27.
Yeah, you're fine.
Does anybody have anything?
I cast Lesser Restoration.
And she comes. She comes too.
Does anybody have anything of food, like a slab of like anything?
Your skin's made of food. As the other one's getting
I'm
closer.
whispering.
Oh, they can hear you just fine, no matter what you're whispering. This is the part, brother, where they tried to bargain for their lives.
Have you ever considered that your skin is made of food?
Give me a persuasion check.
I'm just
22.
gonna.
22. But where would I start, brother? There is nowhere to stop, brother. We've never seen our tails. They are endless. I don't know where, brother. They are slowly pinching you guys closer and closer together. Like your feet are now stepping in ichor of this awful like red and like maroon and hot pink gross from their mouth.
I'm gonna pull out some rations.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, I can make anything taste incredibly satisfying.
Is that so? Anything? I feel like you could be anything.
I'm gonna hold up my little bundle of rations.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out that red dust I collected from the goat and sprinkle it over it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna give it a nice toss into the mouth of the one in front of me.
Like, if you ever heard Cerberus from Hercules or from Kingdom Hearts, Cerberus, that is the sound you hear. It is not a friendly chomp. That is a 12.
It doesn't actually make any throw initially.
Oh, okay. Well, we got that set as it eats it. Oh, I did not know it could taste of. It tastes just like meat. It's delicious. Bones. Sinew.
Can anybody do anything to this creature?
Brother, this is delicious. What he offers.
Would you like a taste as well?
What do you need, Dad? Tape? There's...
Hey, I can create food and water.
Right on the floor is packaging tape. I don't have normal tape. I have
Do you guys remember what I collected?
You got
Yeah, it's the dust of deliciousness, isn't it?
We don't know that.
Welcome to Zach. Every time he undercuts any reveal I have 3 seconds
I'm
before
sorry.
it happens. No, it's good. You're excited and you figure it out, which means I'm doing my job. You're like, oh, what's happening? You know, I put enough clues. This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
You just gotta not let it escape.
I'm sorry. I have no filter.
It's fine.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
happy
I'm
he's
gonna
excited. Yeah.
Hold up another rations and then say, "Would you like a taste as well?" Offering to the second head.
You see its head just go and just open up
I'll take another sprinkle of the dust.
inside, similar to sharks. It just rows and rows.
And I'm gonna
rows of teeth.
throw it into its mouth.
It goes in. Jesus, fucking on brand read. As
It doesn't make a save initially.
I know. I'm just getting prepped. In case you need to. As you see, oh, brother, it's more than just what you described. There's, I haven't tasted such flavor to the rotten flesh. The perfect marinade of darkness.
Does anybody else have anything to offer to them?
Your succulent bodies do look delicious.
I can pull out another ration.
Okay. All right.
It's like
Are you
I
gonna,
wasn't
eyes
are you gonna toss it or hand it to them, the
something.
ration?
I'll just toss it.
All right. As you toss the ration, you see it open its mouth and clop. Like sawdust, brother. The stoneworks of these ghastly creatures in here. The other one gives more delicious food. I bet he's more delicious. Yes, brother, he must be more delicious. We must savor him. He'll be
Logic
eaten
sound.
last.
Nope.
With that said, I'll try to like wild shape into one of the things they didn't want to eat.
All right. You can't because actually, how high a challenge rating can you wild shape into?
I'm not sure. I know it's at least 1.
All right, it's far higher than 1. Not
Features
Let me
and
check.
traits.
I have to see.
Features and traits.
potentially 6 times as high.
Yeah, that
If
nope.
you're not a moon druid, there's no way
Yeah.
you can do it 6.
So you can't.
A moon druid could get 5 at this point, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just 1.
Okay. So no,
Yeah.
you
I-
attempt,
yeah.
but you make like a cutesy version, but really tiny. I'll give you. So
That's
it's,
fine.
so it's like a challenge rating of a half. As you're into it, you don't really have all the nature and beings of it, but it's like a best guess. It's not magic, but it's like this wild shape that's trying to figure out what it wants to be.
But
It seems like a very different kind of creature, which is exciting.
the implications of what we've just done.
Brother, my patience grows thin. As the other one goes like,
I'm trying to say something with my eyes to my party. Does anybody want to do anything?
I cast create food and water.
can you see this? Both my pups are sleeping inside the same kennel together, the same bed right now. I don't even believe them anymore. They've been hanging out and being friends and shit. This is nuts.
That's crazy.
Did you send that to Mom? Send it to Mom. She'll never believe it. This is monumental. We just made strides. They've been getting along. The thing is, they work together now. They conspire. Lexi opens the barriers, and then Athena takes the damage. Athena raises the hell, and then Lexi picks up the afterwards, like, oh, there's some food now. All right.
I cast Create Food and Water 10 feet above their heads, respectively, and it creates about 40 pounds of food.
All right. As they 20 each, you see them. Oh, I'm starting to feel more full, brother. Full. They'll spoil our appetite, brother. Well, we're in no rush. They're not going anywhere. We can let them marinate.
So they're starting to get full.
That's what you heard.
I mean, I can do it a few more times.
How many times?
How do they feel if I do it 2 more times?
Gluttonous. As they eat, and occasionally their bites grab some more of those creatures out of the air. Eventually, they realize that you're their prey, and they start backing off and returning to their nests. They still, you see them more and more of the. I'll go the other way with it. Less and less of the ichor is coming out now. It seems like the food's almost absorbing a lot of the spray coming out, and it seems to be nearly. There's almost none coming out now as the two of them are starting to roll side to side, being like, oh, brother, maybe we keep this one to keep us fed. I don't know why they're going down to the vibe voice now. That's not the voice I want. Yes, brother. This seems like a good idea. We let them marinate, we eat the delicious one last, and then we keep this beautiful, tender one.
I mean, I can keep going with this. Do you guys have any other ideas?
I only have one.
Influence them.
I have one ability.
You also have hero actions, but up to you. What are you doing? They're seeming less aggressive towards you guys.
Cast another couple times.
Okay, I'm gonna cast it at a higher level this time. I'm gonna cast it at 4th level.
Okay.
One more time for now. We'll see what that gets us.
As the food comes into their mouths again, and you see them both. Oh, brother. It's so delicious, brother. And you see one of the heads just fall off into and you hear this giant splash. And as it comes up, you see this. Some of the creatures that still were hanging around get burnt by that, and you see as it hits them, they fall straight into the below. Not lava, but into whatever's below you, the liquid. And you hear these also as they start melting into the bottom below. And the other one's eyes start to close. You hear this awful snoring of the creature behind you.
We should go.
Can we see anything down the pathway of the one that came off the bridge?
It just seems endless, and it's not the direction you guys came in. It just seems to go into the darkness.
Let's keep moving.
Give me stealth checks.
Okay.
Bologna.
I give everyone pass without a trace.
Okay.
Hey! Belfina spreads out. She takes out a plant out of one of her pouches, and she takes out little leaves and blows
Good
it.
freaking thing, dude.
Blows it to each and every one of you, giving you a pass without a trace.
43.
Oh my god.
I got an 11. Oh.
On brand.
I might have a thing.
23.
Okay.
19.
Okay. I rolled for Bellona again, unless somebody else wants to.
Here, I'll do it.
Your DM's on brand.
I'm lucky.
Nice.
All right.
So it's actually a 15.
Nice. Okay.
Bologna
It's also 15.
is also 15, yeah.
A natural 15 or 10 plus 5?
10 plus 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then whatever her modifier is, so she has one.
Weird. She's normally sneakier.
Mosno?
24.
Okay. Ralia?
My stealth was 19.
All right. You guys start progressing as you're going quieter and quieter. It seems like the bridge almost reacts to your quietness, and the whole place starts to simmer down as you guys disappear within this endless cavern, and the road starts to seem less endless as you guys go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and eventually you come upon a door.
What's the door look like?
Yeah.
The door itself is this, like, platinum encrusted, just hard plate all the way around. It looks like there is a door handle to push through. And there's all sorts of, like, engravings on it that are just shapes, nothing you recognize.
I'm gonna look at it for traps.
I'm gonna see if there's anything magical about it.
Let's go. We know our jobs.
Arcana and check for traps.
26.
Hey, I actually did it. Natural 20 for a 22.
It appears it is a normal door.
We did it, boys.
Guys,
Everyone be careful.
I did my
There is
job.
a powerful spell. Nothing on this. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Which one is it? Is it a powerful spell or is it nothing?
It is very powerfully nothing.
Ah, fuck yes. I couldn't find my details sheet. I was getting a little worried.
So the door's fine, but what about the area around the door? Huh?
Based on that natural
Let me
20,
look.
ain't nothing.
Okay.
Do we all want to go in, right?
Yeah, I mean, we came this far.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, never mind.
I'm gonna.
You guys owe me about 200 pounds of food.
I'm gonna go in and open up the door. Quietly.
Okay. As you slowly open the door, the room is dark. With your dark vision, you can only make out a few, looks like, figures inside this darkness inside here. It doesn't look ruined. It actually looks pretty pristine inside this room as you step in.
I'm gonna kind of move in alongside the wall, keeping away from the figures, and kind of usher the group in quietly.
All right. You guys, so with your stealth
So we
checks,
can get off the bridge.
you guys get in and off the bridge. As the door
I just
closes
want
behind
to
you. Yeah.
unsheath my ceremonial dagger, light the blade, and then put it back into the sheath, just so that I have like a
Yeah.
light stick.
Okay. You get a brief light in the figures in here. When you do that, you can see they're unmoving. And you don't really get the profiles too well as you do that. They seem
I'm gonna
unchanged.
move a little bit closer to see what they look like quietly.
As you move in closer to them, as you're right on top of it, they appear to be one statue, and it seems to be facing sculptures.
I don't think these are alive, everyone.
I pull my knife out.
As the light comes, you can see a knight. He has a sword driven far out. He, very modest are all of his clothings. You can see a small ring around his head with the sword pointing toward, and there's like 4 pedestals. One of the far right one has nothing on it, and the next 3 to it, one has a sculpture of a sun, one has the sculpture of the moon, and one has a sculpture of a 5-pointed star.
Does the 5-pointed star have any significance to Ralia?
Go ahead and make a religion check.
Beautiful. 24.
The star is often associated with. Give me 1 minute.
Why'd you turn the fan off?
Isn't that Timora?
No. Yes.
Oh.
Timora is definitely one of the people that it's associated
Do you
with.
still want it?
But the way this star is, because Timora is normally the owl is her symbol, the actual
Yeah.
star itself it isn't as popularized, and there are not many shrines to it. But with a 24, and given her background, you recognize that as the symbol of Zahir.
Hey.
Oh.
Rest in peace here. Pretty sure he's dead.
What about the other two? Knowing that there's a symbol of Zahir, would she know that there are associated gods with the other two?
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll for this one.
I feel like
With
this is what I
advantage.
was made for.
Well, I'm not even going to take advantage. I got a 28 on the first one.
Typically, in some passages, now that you have that association, the moon is typically associated with Crutilla, and the sun is associated with Corlin. And these are part of the major gods that rule over all the gods.
Well, I will relay that to my friends.
Sure.
Hey, I know about them.
Surely, there is something missing here.
Yeah. You don't say. Where's my boy?
Is there anything on the
Tyr is
any
underneath
symbolism-
Corlin, if you would know that through your
Yeah,
religion. The three underneath him.
I thought Zahir was too.
No, Zahir is
His own entity?
he's the god of hope. Yeah, he's completely
Okay.
different. He's part of the original creators of the universe. So
Oh, okay.
underneath Corlin is Timora, Tyr, and Morphus.
Oh, okay. Morphus was the one I was thinking of. Okay.
So what else were you asking?
I was asking about any symbolism on like the walls.
It seems very bare inside here. It's all very clean though and flat and pristine. It seems like no dust is collecting inside this place. It seems immaculate. Give me a perception check, as you guys have now lit and you can find some torches inside, like torch holders in here. So you're more than welcome to burn a torch to place inside there.
25.
The only thing that seems to be out of place in here is whatever sculpture was sitting on the fourth one has been pushed and shattered onto the ground.
Oh.
There's just pieces all around.
How many pieces?
Hundreds, if not thousands.
Okay.
Does Ralia know what the fourth god is?
You can make a history check. Or a religion
History.
check. Religion.
Okay. An unnatural 20.
It escapes you, but you're certain there's a fourth.
Here, Cotula,
And
Corlin, and
Morphus is under.
yeah,
It is not
Morphus.
Morphus.
Tears.
I'm gonna go up to the statue,
Yeah.
the broken statue,
Yeah.
and see if there's any way I can try to at least make some half shape or something like that. Like if I can get a big part and try to stick it together and see if
Yeah.
I can tell what it might have resembled or
I'm gonna help
somewhat.
that out.
It's gonna be very difficult. So give me a tinkering check as you're trying to bring this back together.
What is that?
I'm trying to. I don't know exactly. What
I'm wondering,
tinkering falls
could it
under.
also be like an
normally-
investigation? 'Cause
Yeah,
we're kind
give
of
me,
trying to
I like investigation. I like that.
move them together enough to get
Yeah.
a shape.
I like
Or-
that.
Not
Crafts
necessarily
check.
repair it.
Yeah.
Unnatural 20.
Sheesh.
What? But no. What else though? This is a very difficult check because this thing looks like some of it's fucking dust.
Oh.
Plus-
I thought. I got a. No, unnatural 20. So 15 plus 5.
Oh, I thought you got a natural
Yeah.
20.
No.
Unnatural. Oh, okay.
Unnatural. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. It's difficult. You're literally like going up to a pile of rubble and being like, I'm gonna try and find a shape. These are
Right.
pretty ground up and pretty clearly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
out of
see
that
if there's any,
investigation, it's very clear this was deliberately destroyed.
Okay. There's no markings or anything like that on the pillars that they're standing on.
Each pillar has their symbol underneath it. So you have the sculpture, and then each of their symbols are on there. The symbol on this pillar has been removed. It's all scratched out.
Okay.
And it's just the doorway that we came out of.
It appears that way, yes. That's behind you, and you have, again, the individual that's pointing the sword toward the other three. There do appear to be some markings on that as well.
Let's take a look at what those look like.
They appear to be in a lost language.
Does anybody recognize lost languages?
I will try. I will walk up to it.
Copy
Take a peek.
language.
Yes.
All right.
It's going to take me 11 minutes.
That's
Or
fine.
10 minutes and 6 seconds. Because I have to ritual cast it.
As Ralia goes into a ritual focusing on that, the rest of you are looking about the room, doing whatever you would like.
There's nothing on like the ceiling, no like holes where anything could come out of.
No, it is immaculate.
This isn't information that you've previously given us and is just escaping us, right?
I don't know, is it?
I don't remember. I'm trying to think back to Skoberheim because I feel like we dealt with a lot of religion there, but
I'm pretty sure
Listen,
we are purposely
we
not
know
supposed to know
Fondar
this
is
god.
one of the original gods of the universe.
what about the buffalo poop god?
Yeah, that's
Is
him,
that
isn't it?
the
Fondar. That's what I retained. Where's Flama when you need him?
important?
After the time goes, you can see written in some of the space. Actually, give me another investigation check. Some of the words are just like affirmation. They are all just like the faceless soldier,
24.
the sacrifice, the for the good of all. Very much accolades, a very of the people's type of writing is all about this.
Okay.
With the 24, you were able to find etched in the handle of the sword inside where he's gripping it. Inside there, you can see written struck 3 down. Oh, shut up. Things are getting
This
spicy.
is quite peculiar. I cannot speak apparently. Is that of any significance to anyone?
Yeah, is it?
You can make a history or religion check.
I think that's both the same.
Is that significant to Ralia?
You can make a history or religion check. You're all welcome to this.
History
19 for Airy for a
I
history.
got a 16 in history.
23.
First time you guys have heard it.
And there seems like there's no other entrances or exits or anything in this room. It's just the one door we came out of and this grouping
Immaculate
of statues
room.
and such.
Yep, and the statues and sculptures and the broken sculptures.
It's not like supposed to be the spirit of the woods or like one of the northern gods, is it?
Luke knows, but I don't think Ralia does.
Oh man, that's embarrassing. I should know. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm failing you. I'm sorry.
It seems we are under some kind of farce or something. We cannot figure this out.
Some kind of farce.
What do you guys do? Did you just roll for your hero action?
I did.
What'd you get?
I got an 80 actually.
That might be helpful.
That's gain insight into solving a desired conflict.
That is the ideal scenario.
Heyo. Okay. As Ralia points it out, you can see maybe there's more to this room, and maybe that hill's message seems to be a hint.
What did it say on the hilt again?
Struck 3 down.
Struck 3 down.
So there is one statue that's been destroyed. Are there any more statues that have been destroyed?
There are 3 fine sculptures standing next on their pedestals.
Is there any kind of language on those pedestals, or is it just the iconography, right?
Just one symbol. Very minimalistic. Very pristine inside here.
Any buttons?
Before anybody does anything, I'm gonna take some oil
Is that the time for that?
load it into the Lantern of Revealing,
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
and
Smart.
activate that.
Yes.
They're definitely... Wait, how far does it go?
So it is burns for 6 hours on 1 pint of oil, sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light in an additional 30 feet.
Yeah, the whole room's lit.
Invisible objects and creatures are visible as long as they are within the 30 foot of bright light.
There appears to be the faintest outline of a door to your left side, on the left side by all the statues, or by all the sculptures that are still up.
So that must be the exit.
Can we just open it?
No, I think the message on the sword is a hint. I think we may need to push over and destroy these other sculptures.
Well, that feels sacrilegious. I'm not sure if I feel alright with that.
Yeah. It does not seem this is anyone's temple, it is forgotten, so I cannot see it as being terrible. This is the thing that we are supposed to do. Do we know, does anybody know what this figure is? The one with the sword? Do I know anything about?
I mean, it doesn't even have, like, features on it besides very
Right.
basic humanoid features. It's clearly meant to be, I mean, with your high rolls that you've had, clearly ringing bells to you as, like, symbolic of, like, it represents people. It's just, it could be anything. It could be a person. It could be a group of people. It could be an ideology. It's definitely symbolic. It's not a specific person, per se, but this is clearly a symbol.
Hmm.
I thought Ryan was raising his hand there for a second. I just found my notes for the Ram room. Sorry.
Well, I
what are
am
you
not
gonna
one to destroy another's religious symbols, but it appears somebody has already begun that.
I mean, I'm not really associated as much with any of these others. So I will approach the Corland statue.
Oh, do you have to?
Oof.
Feel like that'll get me in trouble with upper management.
What do you do?
I'm gonna look away.
Gonna look back real quick and gonna try to push it over.
Easily, not even a strength check. It falls over and you just hear this horrible crack. It echoes throughout the room. It shatters across the floor, many of it into dust, like similar to the other one you found.
I'm going to approach the Kratula statue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push that one over.
Yeet.
The same thing occurs as the crack, and you hear like the wind even pick up inside the room. All your cloaks have a little underneath you as you do that.
And just for my own sake, I'm gonna put the hood down on the lantern, so now it's only a 5-foot radius of light.
Cool. Cool idea.
Actually, Mosdell, can you help me out with this one?
Okay.
Last one.
Hold on a second. You didn't tell me you were religious.
But
I'm not
going to happen
specifically,
anyway.
not specifically, but there's a little bit of Zahir that played into everything.
Well, we must discuss this more thoroughly at another time.
What do you mean for?
Just push this one over, pointing to the Zahir one.
That's
Okay, push it over.
It shatters, and as it shatters, no noise occurs, but you look over and there's now a door where you saw it revealed.
I'm going to move over there and take a look at it. Is it just a standard door with a handle?
It is a almost like black platinum door.
Spicy.
Well, there's nowhere else but forward now, and I will go to quietly use the door.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check as you open into the next room.
Ooh, just not realizing the implications of this.
Double
pass without a trace still.
19.
Pass without a trace still?
Yep.
Double 19 for a 34-44 with pass.
All right.
22.
Okay.
24.
Someone roll for Bologna.
She rolled the dirty 20, so 30.
30. Ralia?
26.
Okay. All of you are doing just fine. As you come into the next room, you see crystalline gems everywhere. These gigantic stalagmites, not valuable gems, but like earthy gems as you come into this room. And you can see two people at the center of the room, and they seem to be in some grappling contest as they're going closer and closer to one another with blades revealed. And you see it. And the both of them slowly put blades into each other's hearts as you guys enter, and they both drop to the ground.
Can I run up to them?
Yeah.
And I want to cast Spare the Dying on both of them at the same time.
Go for it.
Because I can do that.
Go for it.
Whoa, what? Cool.
What does that do? Stabilize?
They just
Stabilizes them.
stabilizes them, yeah.
Okay. As both the knives go into one another, you are now find these very pale-skinned looking individuals. Looks like both men in these robe-like outfits that were inside this area. They have very angular angular facial structure, and they are stabilized thanks to your Spare the Dying. As you rush over in here, what are you all doing?
I'm gonna pull the lantern out again,
Yep.
take the hood off, to pull the hood up, and just kind of inspect the room with it.
It shines and reflects a bit blindingly around the room, but you do notice with that, right near where these two were fighting, there is a circle, another mosaic down there that reflects back to you with the lantern, and the mosaic has on it the symbol of the skulls from the front door to get in here on it.
I will gesture and let them know, hey, there's something here. And they can all see it in the light of the lantern.
Do you think we should do anything about these two?
Yeah, what were they fighting about?
I have no idea. But they are stable. If you wish to speak to them, we can try to bring them back.
Well, let's disarm them first.
Yes, disarm them by pulling the knives out of their hearts, and that's what I'll do.
As you pull the knives out of their hearts, you actually feel their bodies like relax. The knives themselves are more like stakes.
Do these look similar to the things we
I'm in danger.
that we found in the castle of Tendorf?
Why don't you give me a fucking perception check, you little bitch?
We just dealt with this.
Or nature check is fine too, either one.
I'll do a perception check.
Yeah, because it's definitely higher for you.
Yeah, that's a 23.
I would also like to perceive that's a
Being
17.
right up on them, can I just see it?
You guys look around as you take the stakes out and you start to look at their hoods now off. They have pointed ears. Looks like there's fangs sticking out. They do resemble the...
Oh, put that shit back in there.
Can I use Command Undead on one of them?
Yeah.
They're unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Well, charisma saving throw.
I think it's
I don't
an
know if-
automatic fail if they're unconscious.
I have no idea how that works.
I'll do disadvantage. Fail.
It's only strength and dex fails that they automatically fail on unconscious.
Okay, then it would be an advantage, so that would be a 18.
18 is my DC.
Oh, dude!
I'll use it against the other one.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, okay. Let's see. 21.
Ah.
Yep, probably. These are fucking them.
I'm gonna take the stakes and put them back in.
Okay. You see them seize up again.
Yeah, I don't think we should mess around with these guys.
If we're going to mess around with them, we should mess around with them while the stakes are in place.
That is a good point.
Can I try to animate dead on them?
Yes, you can try.
Just drive them a little deeper and then animate dead.
All right. You spared the dying, so they're not fucking dead.
Well, yeah, I'm driving the stakes deeper and then casting animate dead.
I know, but the stakes don't do damage, sadly enough. Like, they do, but, like, it's just a state of paralysis.
But what if
So,
we set them on fire?
You can do that. You can try to set them on fire.
No, let's not set them on fire.
I'll use chill touch on them.
Okay. It does seem like chill touch is enough to remove life from them.
Okay, now I'll cast animate dead on them.
Okay. Yeah. You see them start to... Oh, actually, as soon as you cast chill touch, they burst into mist. Tricky little bastard.
Soul cage.
What's maybe that
Grab
work?
its soul.
It's not dead though. When it hits 0, it just turns into mist.
It's not dead?
Doesn't
It's
die.
undead.
I guess
Kill
they're
all those
they are undead. So
I mean,
Yeah, this is fucking
vampires are a weird one.
Yeah, get fucked.
yeah.
And yes, Zach, you just figured that out.
We didn't kill any of them? Heck.
That's definitely never gonna come back.
Oh yeah,
Guys.
Ari doesn't know, but Hunter knows. Yeah, we didn't kill them at all.
Dang it. How are you supposed to kill them?
You gotta kill them in their place of.
Oh, so they get like bamfed back to their home plane? Or...
Not their
Not
home
plane.
But they're like their home base where their
Okay.
coffin is.
This is exactly
Okay, well,
how the Briarwood shit got so off the rails.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they burst into mist. I don't think the soul cage will work because it has to be trying to capture their soul. They still have their soul.
Yeah, probably not.
But again, all worth a shot. You see
Well,
them go toward where you guys came, and the mist disappear out the room.
All right. Well, that is that, I guess.
I suppose we can just ignore that.
Maybe if you didn't turn around a fucking 8 sessions ago, something would have happened in here.
I guess, do we touch the... There's a mural that we know typically when there's one of those, it brings us somewhere else.
Is there anything else in the room?
Just the crystalline structures. It looks like you're in like a deep cavern at this point.
Are the crystalline structures made up of any valuable?
No, I already said that. No.
Yeah, he said it was not
sorry.
valuable.
Okay. Sorry.
Um,
I don't see any reason not to go further.
I'm gonna go touch
Can try.
the area of the mosaic.
You disappear.
Yeah, do the thing.
Touch it.
Everybody touches it. You all find yourselves inside this unlit area at the moment. You can feel all this rubble underneath your feet. You do not see the mosaic anymore right now. It is pitch black.
Pull my
at the
dagger
moment.
out.
All right, now you have some light inside here, and it looks like there are.
I'm
these
also gonna use
giant
my lantern.
structures. Now it's right inside this area. It seems very small, but now that you guys can see clearly, you can see 4 towering statues, each one holding a weapon of sort as it's looking down toward the center, where you can see a coffin of sorts or a tomb of sorts.
Oh,
One has a crown, and you recognize it as similar to the creature that you fought with against Orlith. It appears to be a minotaur, as it holds an axe to the ground as it's looking down at this. The next one looks to be this elf king with his gem-encrusted sword down, and again looking towards this. The next one looks to be a human king, which has the dwarf one was more curved, the human one's much straighter, the elf one was curved, the human one was straighter, and then there's a dwarf king who has a hammer, and he's staring down at this. What do you do? And there's just like rubble all across the floor.
Yeah, this rubble that we're standing on, does it seem like the walls were deteriorating, or is this like a feature of this room? It's just like
It's
kind of rubble everywhere.
It sort of seems like almost like fallen from the sky has come into here, this rubble. Not so much of like destruction or the statues or the things you've experienced already.
Is the coffin disturbed?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
I'm gonna
not
bring the
trying-
lantern over with him.
Okay. The
I'm not trying to like disturb anything. Oh, that's a 2.
You can't find shit on this. You're like putting your hands. You're just too concerned with not disturbing it that you don't even check. To be honest with you, you do one of those like I said I've checked, but I'm too nervous about this. I'm not
I
really.
can't. I'm sorry.
The lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
go ahead.
come over here?
Yes. What do you need?
Are there any symbol?
You're out of Wi-Fi range.
I believe Ari died.
I think he's out of Wi-Fi range.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I was just at my fridge. I was gonna say, is there any symbology on the coffin?
I will look for symbology of gods or arcana or
Give me a
Or
perception
historical.
check. Give me a perception or investigation check.
perception.
Yeah, you bitch. Gotta find something first.
Okay, 16. That's
16.
terrible, but not great.
You see
And
this. Yeah.
I have a 21.
You see the familiar masks, the faces of the see no, hear no, speak no skulls on top of it. And as you guys look around, there is a strange, like, multi-edge, the 3 skulls next to each other. And underneath that, you can actually see a name carved into the side of this chest.
Can I read it?
I would say this would be. What languages do you guys speak?
He should have still, or she should still have comprehend languages. Doesn't it last for an hour?
Is it an hour? I thought it was 10 minutes.
It might be 10 minutes.
Double
I
check.
think it's either 10 minutes to cast and then an hour.
Oh, it's 1 hour.
Oh, then you still have it up.
Yep.
All right, so then you see the name of Kevna. C-E-N.
What language is it in? Do I know?
I didn't write it down. So I gotta look at the fucking languages again.
But it's infernal.
It's not infernal.
Okay.
Well, if it's abyssal, I can read it anyway.
I'll say, yeah, it sounds about right. Let's go Abyssal. You can read it anyway.
Oh boy.
And
Does that carry any significance
give me,
whatsoever?
Give me a religion or arcana check.
Ooh, 29.
Let's go.
So maybe that's not right. Maybe it's Sevna. Maybe there's been whispers of creatures inside the abyss using such a name that contributed to the formation of the 13 layers of hell with a 29.
13 layers of hell.
Yeah, I will definitely explain that to everybody.
So let's leave this tomb alone.
I would like to know if there's anything inside of it.
I don't
want to open it. That's not what I'm thinking.
No, don't open.
Don't open.
Mazno, you're
Is there
looking awfully
anyone-
bored. I feel like you should do something to shake things up.
We just cleaned up the world's mess. We're not unleashing a devil lord.
Are you?
Demon prince.
Are you sure you're not?
I hope not. I just cleaned up this mess.
I certainly do not want to unleash anything, but if there is, perhaps, it looks like a coffin, but who knows if this is the coffin of this particular individual, or if this particular individual put something in a coffin. We do not really know. If there is something in there or nothing in there, we do not know.
I'm not sure that I would want anything that would be in there.
Did anything hidden show up around the coffin?
No. You are actually finding you're very stuck in here. You are probably in a pocket dimension of sorts.
Nice.
Ulazal, can you detect if these if there are evil things around? I do not know.
I can do that.
Personally, have that.
I cast Detect Evil and Good.
Okay. You feel an evil and undead presence.
In the tomb?
More like everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's more like a feeling. It's not so much a specific location. It's
So
all
it's
around
just
you. It's like
all
in the
in
air
here.
and the trees and the sky.
Oh,
You can't see.
so it's like that, menacing.
Yeah.
The air itself is menacing because
Yeah.
it's seeming to be more concentrated around the dwelling place of this particular
No.
body.
Actually, no.
Oh,
No.
well, that's concerning. Well, I'll relay that to my friends.
Yeah.
This whole place reeks of evil. We should not be here. We need to find a way out.
Good to know. I'm gonna look around the room
All right. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
with my fancy lantern.
I also am gonna look.
Go for it.
That's a
Ulazal's
19.
like, we gotta get out of here. Everything's evil. Aries like, I want to find it.
Raleigh is like, let's see how this goes. This could go either way. I could get something out of this.
I could
Hey,
leave
we're
that
open
behind.
box.
All
What
right.
if there's like a cool sword in the box?
Mazo, give me!
Cool sword.
Mazo's trying to yank out the statue swords. This is the thing.
Room.
This is the sword of hitting, or what was it?
The sword of
Sword of bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning.
the great sword of bludgeoning.
Okay.
Want it?
Go ahead and what was it, Belfina?
It was just a 13 for me. Ari
Okay.
rolled better.
What area roll?
I rolled a 19 investigation.
All right, the two of you are going throughout this room, and you're finding, like, as you're moving the rubble, it just seems like there's endless rubble, and you're not going any further down as you continue to move the rubble inside here. You look for markings and symbols. I'd say with your investigation check, you notice there are symbols on all four of the giant statues of what appears to be the statues of the kings. The one on the elf is a symbol you've all seen before.
And what symbol is that?
It's similar to the Tree of Life, but not quite exactly that. That's why it reminds you of it.
Okay.
Actually, I would say oh fuck, I bet it was Justin. You guys read in the library, right?
Yes.
Bologna read in the library, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the crest I saw in the book when they talked about Aelion Perry.
Oh.
I think this might be the Elf King Aelion Perry.
Ooh.
I wonder if these are the Kings Who United?
Question. When you read about him, did say that he became a lich, right?
Yes. Yeah. He was inside Waterdeep, I believe. No, vault?
Right.
I don't remember what we know. I'm sorry.
We know it's a vault that was in the ancient city prior to Waterdeep.
Yeah, I don't think you guys have made the connection yet of Tutin to Waterdeep.
Right, but it was, yeah.
So we'll just say it's a ancient city unless someone remembers otherwise.
Or actually, I think Ralia knows. I think Ralia figured it out. I think she read a different book or something. Because
Yeah,
I
you
remember
did. You did.
Yeah,
talked to the
You
Greek-
did.
We know that there's 2 liches in Waterdeep.
Yes,
That's
you're
what we
right.
know.
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
like,
okay, okay.
Ooh.
What? This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Oh, you didn't hear about this. Yeah, you
This
weren't
is the
there.
one thing I
Dude,
missed.
you missed the lore shit. It was such man.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
What?
Yeah, they in the library they bartered with the books to learn more about the collapse. Justin was dope, and he's just like, I want to know more about the collapse. And I'm surprised no one ever brought it up. I can't believe it never came up.
Yeah, that's relevant.
Because everybody was like, nothing happened again, and then...
Oh yeah, and all those books that Xanathar had
Oh, yeah,
that-
you didn't hear that, yeah.
that were passed on to Eulyris, those were from that library. They were stolen,
from the library.
Right. Yeah.
and they were
You were there
real
for
mad
that.
about it.
That's
He was-
hey,
Yeah, you were there for that.
I think I was there when we went in, but
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
Right.
following episode, and then I lost the DM audio, so... That's not helpful, because that's all the lore from my end to them.
yeah, that's okay.
Oh well. There's only a few episodes. Alright. So what else are you guys doing?
There's someone named Gerald Presberos or something like that. I don't know. That has something to do with the history of 210. That's what I've got in my notes there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not very helpful.
yeah. I will say, if we know that this may be this Elf King, and we know that he is a lich, and we know he is not here, and we detect some evil energy, I have a suspicion that this could be some sort of phylactery.
what do they make in this factory?
Liches.
You don't know what the word factory means.
I know he does. But the joke still worked. It's for us. That was for us.
Um,
It may or may not be. I do not know. Obviously, it may just be the ancient evil, as we have said before.
I don't
Well-
think that's a risk worth taking.
Oh,
I mean, do we take it? Do we touch it?
I don't. I don't think we should mess around with anything in here.
These are towering, gigantic structures, just to let you know. Like,
Right.
We're talking humongous, like, Mines of Moria dwarven size statue. But you can certainly try to take it. Like, I'm not going to take that away from you. I just wanted to make sure you knew what we're looking at here in the theater. of
I'm not
imagination.
talking about the statue.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about whatever might be in this coffin.
But we should know the coffin. Are you kidding me?
What are we doing, guys? The only reason I'm letting this go is because we're like right on the crisp of something. Otherwise, like, we would have stopped 30 minutes ago.
Guys, we can't.
We're doing this. You can't stop tonight. Your DM doesn't give a fuck what you think. You're so close to something. You're doing something tonight.
I am obviously very curious.
I mean, well, think about it. What
So I should open it.
this
Don't you dare open it.
this phylactery thing. It's a very important thing to a lich, isn't it?
Yes, it is their life force. So to speak, life.
I feel like the Blackstaff would very much want something of that in order to bargain with the creature in their city.
Yes, perhaps bargaining, or if we control its phylactery, I don't think we need to bargain anymore.
So is that kind of like if we destroy his thingy here, it will hurt him wherever he is?
Hurt is a strange word, but I don't think they necessarily really feel pain anymore. It is more of a removal, passing on. He will no longer exist in this world.
Well, you know.
So it gets rid of it.
Right.
Yeah, I would consider that hurting.
I suppose his definitions and whatnot.
Semantics.
Just don't think that hard about it.
I feel like that's a pretty important object to...
What does Ralia know about Sevna specifically? Like, is this a being that interacts with the world, or is this something that once interacted and then no longer is like...
It's almost more like space. It's like an entity itself that created it and then just dispersed, and people refer to it in Abyssal as what everything was. It's not so much a singular entity, of more of it's like a thing. It's more like auroras in the universe.
Okay. It's like the powers that created the 13.
Yeah, it's definitely more along those lines.
Well, I am certainly curious. And if it is a lich, I am bound to the Raven Queen to destroy all undeath. So, if this is what it is under my duty to do.
Is there a way to confirm?
I mean, we have a moment to prepare if we want to dive into something in case it's dangerous.
I mean, I'm ready to go.
Hold on.
I cast Hero's Feast!
I
can do that.
Who wants to open it?
I will do it.
Alright, you opening it?
You sure?
Yeah, I will do it. Anybody gonna do anything?
Do we want to
before I-
prepare anything first?
Yeah,
Well, as soon as it opens, I'm gonna go into a rage, by the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Protection from Good and Evil on myself.
Alright.
Do we want to, like, check it for traps stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do
sure.
that first. Just make sure there's no arcane traps on it, and Ari can make sure there's no physical.
I'm sure he doesn't
I
want
will.
people touching this.
That is an 18.
I'm just gonna hide
20.
wherever I can.
Yeah, sounds good. You're behind like one of this giant statues looking in toward the center. All the kings are facing into this tomb. 18, and what'd you say, Ralia?
20.
20. You do notice arcane protections, not so much traps. Same with you, Ari. You don't see so much traps, but it does seem to be protected in some way. As
Like,
you, like, do you
from
try to open
decay?
it? Potentially. Do any of you try to open it?
Yeah, I'll try to open it.
Stop tempting me, Reed.
It's unbudging. It
Okay.
does seem like it's locked.
It does seem like it's locked.
Yes.
Do I see any physical locks anywhere?
Make an investigation check. Now touching all over it.
Guys.
20.
As you start moving your hands around it, you're trying to figure out like if there's a crease or something when you go by its name. As you wipe your hands across it, the letters scatter and they move out of place.
Oh, thank God we found a puzzle. Oh. I thought we were just about to unleash the devil onto the world, okay?
Maybe something like Pandora's box.
Oh boy, howdy.
So the letters that move, like, do they go? Are they like kind of like magnetic? They're still on the box, or are they just like fall on the ground?
It's like a gear type of deal, and they're just scrambled now. Now it's like you see on there AECNV.
Does anybody know any letters that work with this
AEC?
AECNV is currently what it is.
Is that all the letters we have?
Yep. Whatever you want to try, DM it to me. Don't say it out loud.
AECNV.
Yep. And you're all welcome to start trying to solve the puzzle.
It's Vance from Vance Refrigeration. That was Emily's joke. She muted herself to make the joke. I don't know why.
I know.
Why is that not the same?
DM me, Rosnell, if you want to try it. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm. I think I know what he's gonna DM you, so I'm just gonna let him do that first.
Move. Okay.
We'll see what you all say. As the group seems to gravitate from some outworldly source seems to guide their hands as the words rearrange to V-E... I think you spelled it wrong. Which one? Yeah, V-E-C-N-A. As it clicks into place. No, you're good.
Oh no!
As it clicks into place, you start hearing, and you see this wall start to open inside here. You see this gigantic tomb and this large entity sitting upon it. And does anybody? Actually, you don't need to. The top of the tomb that you're standing by opens, and out you see this red orb come out of it. And it starts glowing and pulsating, and it floats into the tomb as you hear, "Come closer for your reward."
Do I feel any undead presence?
Go ahead and give me a
Yes.
go ahead and give me a yes check.
Arcana? Okay. Is that Arcana? You're looking for an undead? Would that be nature? Religion? Religion.
Religion makes sense.
Yeah.
26.
Potentially the king of the undead.
It is the devil. That's good.
Well, it appears I was correct, partially.
Probably a half proud, half very upset.
What do you mean?
I won't ask again. Nicely.
I'll make my way towards him.
As you guys enter into this area, all these green fires are on the walls and lush, beautiful trees all inside this like courtyard. It still looks like these cracked stones all around. You see him missing, it looks like up to his elbow. He's missing a hand, and one of his eyes seems to be cut and gouged out. The other looking down to you, this larger than life creature, almost the same size of these statues, this skeleton-looking creature with these faded robes ripped and torn sits upon this gigantic, giant-sized throne. And you see before you the entity introduces himself. You have come into my lair. What do you come seeking to bother the Master of Whispers? The King of Darkness? What do you ask of Vecna?
What?
I think he said his name was Vecna.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes more sense than what I was thinking.
Do you know who that is? I say very quietly.
Absolutely not.
Okay. We are but humble adventurers who stumbled here, unfortunately.
So the chosen stumble into my tomb. I find that unlikely.
Oh, so you know about us, I guess.
You could say I know many secrets. You peruse and bartered for some of them in my library.
Oh, that's your library.
Yes.
Ah.
Lots
know,
of interesting books, don't
I
you
heard
say?
that somebody stole some books from you.
If I was not mutilated, they would sure feel the consequences. Then again, it's far more interesting to see the rewards others can bring me for such transgressions. But are you here? Your travels brought you here for this. As in his hand, his one good hand, it's floating. The orb of eternal harmony, fire. Entrusted to my care. If you pass my trials, I will give it to you.
What exactly do those entail? Or a rough estimate, it doesn't have to be exact.
You will find out. 'Cause there is but no other choice but the trials.
Raleigh rolls her eyes at him.
Actually, he probably would be like, that's a secret. But before we begin, I find it so juicy how this came into my possession. Would you like to know that secret?
What
if you
will
will
it
freely
cost?
tell us.
You pay attention. As you see him lean forward, and you can actually hear these shackles and chains move as he leans forward, his gigantic, decaying face coming closer to you. It will cost something of value. A secret of your own that maybe I do not know. Is there but something you have to offer? The Master of Secrets. If not, there are other things you can offer up in tribute that are equally delicious.
I think he wants more food.
I don't think he wants to.
He said delicious.
Poor Justin. So you wanted to go back to the cave.
We know that the late King Elion Perry still resides in the realm.
A valiant effort, but common knowledge.
I know that Harry picks his nose at night.
As do I.
I mean, who doesn't, you know?
Mosnell is certainly not abstained from the act.
I actually can offer something. The madness that afflicts the world is being heralded by a false shepherd. And the god does not approve of his power being related to madness. He is not the god of madness.
This is of great value. The god of madness remains quiet, deaf upon my ears. A young, troubled woman brought this to my keeping, worried it would be used by the wrong hands. Her image is one I feel familiar to each of you, going by the name Orlith.
For a second, I thought I was going to say Orhana, and I started to panic and turn away. Oh crap! What did you do this time?
And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
That jerk. How could she?